Hello. Hi, guys. I'm going to move a couple things real quick. Going to turn this browser down. It's your boy GRC. This is Hex in the Morning. Crypto in the Morning, I mean. Whoopsie. Switch this, boom that. How is everyone doing today? Wow, extreme amount of activity in the comments. Let me try to pluck through a couple of these quick so I can say hi to some people. HexyCat. Good morning. How are you doing? Erwin, good to see you with the biceps in the chat. Wop wop. This is great. Senior developer having time to talk. Yeah, I appreciate that. From Jin for sure. Jin, if you're there, we'll be starting in about 5 minutes. He's in the grain room. Squidlord, good work, guys. 4 days of constant rain here, stuck inside listening to streams. Whoops, you have to stay inside and get absolutely way more smart because you're listening to the alpha every single day. 5 system failure. Great to see you catching the stream from the beginning for once. Good morning, everyone. Great to see you in here. I love your profile picture with the skull and the super cool helmet. Tyrannosaurus Hex, hello from Seattle. Great to see you, Tyrannosaurus Hex. Great to see you from yesterday. Hex Boy, good morning, fam, guys. Great to see everyone. HexyCat Tattooer, John May. What's up, David? It's a beautiful day, folks. Let's get it. Absolutely. Guys, we're talking about Hurricash, the first completely decentralized protocol for privacy and transactions. Sam, that's a pretty bold statement. Sam's in the background saying, you just said completely decentralized. He's like, is that even possible anymore with the interaction with the bank? Sam, let's dig right into it, okay? If GRC ever crawls out of that midday pump while watching, guys, that crypto brain pump, yeah, if you guys want a brain pump, today is the day to be in here. We're talking about Hurricash. I will shut my mouth about Terra Luna. Sorry, my cleaning ladies, vacuuming. If that's loud, I'm sorry. I will turn that off in 1 second. Yeah, guys, you heard it here first. GRC has a cleaning lady. So advanced level game theory. Element Hex, hello GRC. Hey, I don't think I've ever seen you in here. Great to see you in here, Bob. Great to see you in here, Element Hex. Guys, I just wanted to take a minute to say hi to everyone. You guys know how much I appreciate you being here. I'm going to go put a sleeve. Actually, we have Hurricash Senior Developer. Maybe I'll keep the sleeves under wraps today. Keep it professional. You know what? Once we start talking about Terra Luna, I'll put the stringer on. How about that? Well, I'll put the stringer on once we talk about Terra Luna. But for now, we're talking to the senior developer at Hurricash. We're going to get into the nuts and bolts of, is this protocol completely decentralized? And everything about it, right? This is about completely decentralized transactions and privacy, right? So when I send transactions, Sam can't necessarily know exactly where I was sending all my shit. Which, if we know anything about blockchain technology, that's exactly what are we trying to do here, Sam? We are trying to destroy our interactions with the banks so we no longer are getting scammed because they can do everything behind closed doors. So let's get our power back too, right, Sam? Let's get our power back. Why? Just a couple clicks away from having your own power, okay? So we're learning today, guys. Let's hit this little break, and I'll see you in a couple.
Young folks, you tripping on them motherfucker.
Richard Hart. Richard Hart.
Bought my Hex from the fucking start. Point one every day we mark. Bought my Hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hit restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Bought my Hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hit restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Checking my MetaMask moving. Look at the Hex, he is mooning. Looking at why they be choosing. Peter is why they be losing. Pull chains out and they'll get me a check. He's gas up and it got me a mess. Remember the times he died collect. Hex, I been eating, I'm dying in the best. Getting this back like a year ago. Getting this post, I ain't letting go. Swerving the ring like a Lambo. Getting this back like a year ago. Getting this post, I ain't letting go. Swerving the ring like a Lambo. Bought my Hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hit restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. By my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hit restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Richard Hart. Richard Hart. Richard Hart. Richard Hart.
What's up? I have some good stuff to talk about today. I'm excited to talk to the senior developer for Hurricash. This will be interesting.
What do you know about development?
Oh, right. I just developed these biceps in your face.
Hey, nice transition, bro.
We also have a second reminder from RH. Check your sacrifice balances. If there's an issue, you report it on the site. Check your sacrifice balances. Check your sacrifice balances. If you haven't done that, you should definitely do it. It takes like 3 seconds. You can just click on the site, put in your address, check to see if your shit is accurate. If it is not accurate, then put a comment in that. There's a way to report it in there. We got the second reminder. That means launching is coming very soon.
Sam,
And then
PVM Crypto says, if you think about it, GRC and Sam are now crypto analysts. Add that to the resume.
oh,
That feels nice.
PVM. Thanks for saying that, because literally my girlfriend texted me yesterday and she's like, I'm telling her about this S-curve. So we're going to talk about Terra Luna. We're also going to talk about the S-curve adoption for crypto. And I'm texting my girlfriend and she just doesn't care about it.
And I have counter arguments on the S-curve too, which I'd love to.
Okay, cool. This will be good. And she's like, why don't you have crypto analyst in your bio? Because that would be helpful for people, because then you'd get more people wanting to talk to you about stuff and you'll be able to learn more, right? And then PVM mentions it here. So I will be updating my profile because that's exactly what we're doing here. We're analyzing crypto, right? A lot of them related to what RH is doing in that ecosystem, but we like crypto in general, whether it's Terra Luna, we're going to be talking about later, or other projects, right? How you doing this morning, brother? I had an awesome workout this morning. I'm down substantially. I took the comparison photos from today, 9 days in, 10 days in, from 10 days ago, and I can see a body fat dropping like substantially. I'm curious to see how long. Hopefully by the end of the month, everything starts to the lines start to deepen in my stomach, and that all starts to pop out a lot more. Hope you guys' fitness journey is going very well as well. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic. I've been researching Hurricash. Pretty straightforward, like as long as you straightforward as far as I can't learn the code. But guess what I'm doing, Sam? You listen to this, Sam. I'm going after the show. I'm going in a Zoom call with Fashion Coder. She's going to start me in how to learn code, and then tomorrow we're going live, so she can give me her first live.
Yes.
I'm going to do like the starter with her so I can know how to approach it, and then I'm going to go in with her live for an hour and show everyone how I'm going to start learning coding in real time.
Is she out here at 11 tomorrow?
I don't know.
Or is this a
I'm
different
going to
time?
ask her if she can switch it till tomorrow, because you're not going to be here potentially. Are you?
Oh, yes. I have to pick her up at 11:30, and it's about 30 minutes away. So more than likely I will not be here for.
Yeah. So the first hour, I'll probably just do that with her, and then wait for you, and then we'll talk about whatever's popping, because she said she only had an hour. But so yeah, I'm going to be learning code in real time, so everyone can understand that this isn't
get my girlfriend to pick her up.
This isn't rocket science. Okay, guys, you think it is? I'm a gym rat. I never was schooled. You don't need to be. Okay, it doesn't make a fucking difference. I will school you. How about that?
Cheers.
Cheers to that. Cheers. Me and Sam are a little geeked out today. Me and Sam love when it's not super serious.
It's the pre-workout dry scooping that before I get my workout in this morning.
I'm a little bit confused. Jin, if you are there, can you comment in the private chat? I see your pictures up, but I do not see any interaction between you and the private chat. If you could give me a what's Gucci in the private chat. Yeah, that's true. Our fitness journeys do never stop, and they should never stop, because when you're dead, that's when it stops.
Yes. Python is decent. I tried to learn. I didn't actually try. I'm going to take that back because I got to be honest with myself. I didn't actually put in the effort. I started the process of learning Python over a decade ago, and I never actually followed through on that. So I would like to learn code as well.
Make sure you guys at Fashion Coder and say, can we, Scott? Oh, I mean, Jim Rat says, pretty, please. Can we switch to tomorrow? But if not tomorrow, it's going to be 11 a.m. on Thursday. But we'll see. Either way, it's going to be dope. And I'm going to show everyone that it's not rocket science. You don't need a coach. You don't need to spend $100,000. You don't need to do jack shit. I'm sure I'll be able to nail it. I'll get obsessed with it, and I'll nail it even harder.
There's also one day I just found out where she wants to go do something, but it's like a hour or more away, and then it's like a 5 or 6 hour thing. So there's also going to be one other day where I'm sure I'm going to end up like not being.
Well, we'll see how things pan out. You never want to say never because stuff comes up for me.
Correct, 100%.
I might have to get stuck in fucking traffic. You know, like I was stuck in traffic when we were doing our AMA. I was like, dude, I'm stuck in traffic. Literally, like it was like IRL.
Oh, is that why you came on so late yesterday?
Well, I was going to the gym at a different time, and then I forgot about the traffic patterns because I'm always at home now. So I came back in rush hour traffic on 695. You know what I mean? Like in Baltimore, like that whole area, it's like I was wrecked. I was literally sitting there like, why do I leave my house? I'm never leaving my house again. Like, why do I even bother leaving this joint? I'm in traffic right now for an hour. People do that every day.
I know. I used to do an hour and a half into work to 2 hours into work in New York City, and then
that mental health crisis immediately.
I definitely was like, there's no way I'm effing doing this again. There's no way I'm going to do this again. And I'm super thankful that I just come like right around the corner over there from my bedroom into here. I'm like ready to go. I don't have to go anywhere or anything like that and not have to deal with traffic.
So guys, we're going to give him a couple more minutes. If he does not, for whatever reason, start talking, which is fine. I mean, he might have ran into some. He was in here talking to us earlier. So we were all chit-chatting. And then he bounced out, but we'll see in a minute. It doesn't matter because guess what? GRC's been thinking crazy, cracked out thoughts all night long about Terra Luna, UST, stable coins, and how they all interact and how they'll be applicable on Pulse Chain. So let's just say we have plenty to cover, Sam.
Yes. Oh, and wait until we get to the S-curve stuff too, because the S-curve stuff is fascinating. I did an entire video on it yesterday that will be released at some point later today, more than likely. And let's just say that after going through and doing the more research on the video and the S-curve, I read through the crypto.com annual like state of the nation for crypto that was released a couple of months ago. And then I found another company that was publishing research. And with what they're putting forth, and they have a better view of things than I do, I would assume, given the data and the companies they're working for, we're entering that phase that over the last 13 years, people in crypto have been talking about, where adoption accelerates, right? It's been accelerating, but it's so minuscule relative to the population size. And we've hit that point where shit is about to be bonkers over the next 3 or 4 years. My estimates, we'll get into them towards later in the show, but my estimates on the adoption curve for the S curve, Sam curve. Yes, like if you're not aware, I'll pull up the data, we'll show it, but my estimate is by 2026, 2027, more than half of the world population is on crypto. Sounds ludicrous today.
Wait, say the date again. Look, write that down. Can somebody write that down or something? However people remember. You have to tweet that, and then at the tweet, you have to remind me later. There's like a little app that you can, if you tweet remind me later and the date, it'll pop the tweet back to you on that date.
Oh, so I've already tweeted it, so I can get back into the tweet.
If you go to your comments and write remind me later, I think it'll do it. I think you could do that or something. Like I've seen people do that, and it's a cool way to do it. But anyway, guys, Sam, I'm gonna pull something up. Sorry, hold on. Bring him up and try and talk to see if he responds. I'm gonna bring up Jin real quick. I'm not sure if he's still there, but let's see. Jin, are you there, my guy?
Static. He's communicating in a different language with us.
He's lucky that I was absolutely stoked out of my tree about Terra Luna crashing to the floor. Although I want to say my condolences to every single human that was interacting with that contract that might have potentially been misled in one way or another to believe, because on the front of the website it says 100% decentralized protocol, and that is absolutely disgusting to say.
We'll show that. Yep.
After something like this occurs, it's in hindsight, Sam, in the moment you can say, yeah, they're just saying that, it's marketing, right? But when it crashes to zero, you're like, okay, they just fucking robbed people.
Give some people, if you're aware, give some people context.
I will right now. I'm going to go to my thread that I posted that actually got a lot of traction, guys. I was covering this live on Twitter last night like an animal. I'm telling you, I was excited. I wasn't excited because
that type of animal, right?
Was that you? I thought that was a real dog. I was clicked over on the other screen. I was like, what the fuck was that?
That was me.
I got a couple things to pull up, guys. Listen to me right now. 15 hours ago, Terra dropped 47% in 24 hours. Protect your bags, fam. UST lost its peg. Lunatics are getting liquidated on Anchor Protocol. This ends now. They are all running to cash out. And then after that, I posted this. And I said, 73 cents stablecoin, UST. All the transactions on the Terra Luna network are failing. You can't get your money on the network and you can't move money off the network. Then I tagged Hex just for shits. The network is slow. You can hardly do a transaction. People are managing to move a little money, but most have given up their positions entirely.
Fuck.
Covering at you live in just hours before, Sam, just to get into the nook and cranny of this just a little more. The founder, about 15, 20 hours before,
said something.
Yeah, he said so. He said this: deploying more capital. Steady, lads. This is the founder. Let's talk about decentralization real quick, guys. This is the founder, Duquan. And then a very popular YouTuber, let it go. Let the weak hands sell. And then when they're all gone, then restore the peg. Fighting now is not a good strategy. It's like, dude, what the fuck is this shit show? Is this a decentralized protocol? Is this a decentralized protocol, Sam?
I don't know enough about Luna, but I think that there's a centralized organization behind it that is supposedly running it. Is that accurate?
There's like many companies that have like they like pool everything, Sam. So basically you go in within the system, then they have all these companies and you just pool your money for interest and you stake like that. And it's like, but now they're all gone. Now they're all liquidated. Now you can't move off the network, on or off the network. There's only one bridge for the network, like for all the transactions, right? They want to leave and get out. And it was just frozen. Like it's frozen. When I say frozen, I mean, you can't fuck with the web page anymore. Like, so that's what I mean. Everyone last night was like, I don't know if my transaction will go through. I'm just keeping it up. It's not. And they're like, you'll be liquidated by the end of the night. Probably. And those were the guys on the feet in the 900. I was talking to them. They were inviting people up to chat because they were all very upset. But Sam, I'm going to show one more thing. It's absolutely crazy. I'm sorry. This is absolutely fucking crazy. And I hope I don't get
UST still sitting at 89 cents. This is a stable coin that's supposed to be pegged 1-to-1, sitting at 89 cents right now.
All right, real quick, Sam, check this out.
Gold key. There we go. Do you want to know the worst part? It's broken.
Do you want to know the worst part?
Sure.
It's broken at a more basic level than we've even discussed here. Right? It makes no sense. But like the protocol design for the cryptocurrency makes no sense. And Doquan and Terraform Labs can effectively kick other nodes out of consensus for like the blockchain itself. So a validator on Terra, like on the Cosmos chain that's actually running all this, you are expected to participate in the Oracle voting process. To help make this easy, Terraform Labs has provided their own Oracle price feeder that you can configure in your validator that will automatically post the numbers Terraform Labs gives you to the chain and vote on them for you, making the entire process vastly more simple. So, the vast majority of oracles have adopted this. What this effectively means is that no one else can run a different price feeder now, because if they vote out of band, like different from what Terraform Labs Oracle price feeder is suggesting, they will get kicked out of consensus, even if their number is right and Terraform Labs number is wrong. And this exact thing has already resulted in erroneous liquidations on Anchor, the lending platform. And wait, I'm not done yet. Almost all of those liquidations were bought up by Terraform Labs, who was front running it because they didn't need to wait for the Oracle price to hit the chain because it's coming from their own feed. So they knew to immediately start bidding as these were liquidated before the values were actually posted on chain. It's when there was this massive multi-million-dollar liquidation. Terraform Labs is the one buying up all collateral from the people they wrongly liquidated. It's fucking Arthur Hayes running a prop desk.
I absolutely rug that, and I'm going to do it again. I'm going to rug it because it was complicated anyway, and there was an echo in it. I think it might have been my fault. I'm going to play that back one more time, guys. I
think it was my fault. I needed to mute myself, so thank you. I'm going to mute myself.
Yeah, everyone, I'm going to mute myself too. Make sure it's a thumbs up, Sam. I'm going to mute myself, but if you can hear it, just give me a thumbs up.
Do you want to know the worst part?
Sure.
It's working at a more basic level than we've even discussed here, right? Like, we're discussing how the economics make no sense, but like the actual protocol design for the cryptocurrency makes no sense. And Do Kwon and Terraform Labs can effectively kick other nodes out of consensus for like the blockchain itself. So in order to be a validator on Terra, like on the Cosmos chain that's actually running all this, you are expected to participate in the Oracle voting process. To help make this easy, Terraform Labs has provided their own Oracle price feeder that you can configure in your validator that will automatically post the numbers Terraform Labs gives you to the chain and vote on them for you, making the entire process actually more simple. So, the vast majority of oracles have adopted this. What this effectively means is that no one else can run a different price feeder now, because if they vote out of band, like different from what Terraform Labs Oracle price feeder is suggesting, they will get kicked out of consensus, even if their number is right and Terraform Labs number is wrong. And this exact thing has already resulted in erroneous liquidations on Anchor, the lending platform. And wait, I'm not done yet. Almost all of those liquidations were bought up by Terraform Labs, who was front running it because they didn't need to wait for the Oracle price to hit the chain because it's coming from their own feed. So they knew to immediately start bidding as these were liquidated before the values were actually posted on chain. It's when there was this massive multi-million-dollar liquidation. Terraform Labs is the one buying up all those collateral from the people they wrongly liquidated. It's fucking Arthur Hayes running a prop desk.
Wow, that's so.
Tell me that from a financial perspective, Sam. From a financial perspective, get away from crypto in your mind a little bit. Let's talk about what's actually going on, nuts and bolts, a little bit, if you kind of understood. For me too, for my help.
So, I don't know anything about Anchor, but it sounds like it's some type of crypto lending protocol. People can let me know.
It's a company based out of, I think it's in Asia somewhere.
But is it tied to?
They have a lot of funds. They basically just hold a lot of funds.
And it's some type of lending protocol. I would assume that there's.
That's what people earn interest on. That's all they do, and they just collateralize and they earn interest and shit.
So, but you could borrow against it it sounded like from what that guy was saying. So
because people were collateralized. That was the major problem last night. So that means you can borrow against on the Anchor protocol.
So when you look at liquid loans, when you look at Fiat.io or Aave, right, or any Liquidity or any of these crypto lending protocols, you are getting away from like the monthly payment thing and the interest, so to speak, for a bunch of them. But what you're taking on is the volatility risk. And what do we know about crypto? It is fucking volatile. So by what this dude was saying is that they were able to, know in advance or cause a invalid liquidation. So on liquid loans, for example, when there's a liquidation, the benefit, right, it starts at 110%. So as soon as it hits 110% collateralization, then that person who did that, they got all their money and that portfolio is liquidated. There's a 10% like bonus there that goes to the stability pool. However, in the case of what they were just talking about, it's going to go up for an auction. But if I see the information before you do, I get to buy it at a 10% discount. And that's effectively
Yeah,
what they're
but
doing.
their
They're
voting
front-running.
process made it so the people voting had the access to the information before, and therefore the people voting were just buying back the liquidations before other people even had the information.
Mm-hmm. It's front-running. It's front-running the information.
That's normal, right? That's a normal. I mean,
It's
in legacy, right?
Robinhood sells their data feed for trading and order books and stuff like that to hedge funds to front run people. Like it's that's how it's free, right? Because you're
and then they tell people to buy on their protocol, like normies.
fuck. We just had two of those dudes on the other day, and they probably got a lot of their bags.
Hey
We
guys,
should reach out to those guys.
Cash DeFi. I hope you guys are doing okay. We're not hating on you, dude. Like, you're a young man, literally. You're a young person, and you probably are rich in other ways. Who knows? You probably got a lot going on. Good. Don't work your money, your bags don't matter as much as they might feel sometimes, but you have to understand you must actually learn about counterparty risk if you want to stay in crypto. You must actually learn about bridges. You must actually learn, because Sam, this is your first time real time seeing a top 10 crypto crash to the absolute dirt.
God, let me look up
that you could have been 100% on that and earning money for years and just gotten liquidated, and you would have completely trusted it just because you would have earned so much money already on there. And you would have just been like, it works. Trust me. I've earned a fuck ton. You know what I mean? Like, it works. Like, and then it's like, boom, it doesn't work anymore, right? That Bitcoin news was red flag city, McCity. When they back that, when you back an algorithmic stable, and so Jesse from Liquid Loans was actually in my DMs this morning saying, I want to tell people exactly why Liquid Loans will not turn out with the same fate as the algorithmic stablecoin, which is on. And I said, hey, that is a conversation I'm willing to have. Okay. Like, we're not going to talk about the specifics of Liquid Loans right now, but we can talk about what they have done and thought about for the future, because this is right in your face, and they have to face this, right? There's going to be bad press all over. Everyone's going to be asking questions, including GRC.
You had just mentioned something a second ago that we talked about pre-show, where Terraformer Labs in their foundation had started to acquire Bitcoin with their earnings, right? Because they earn a fee from all the transactions, like what the dudes were saying the other day. They earn a fee from all the transactions. And then they're using that money to buy Bitcoin to back up the peg. Now, I'm not an expert in Terra. I'm not an expert in Luna or UST. From my understanding, you back up UST peg by printing Luna, right? So what is somebody saying when they are saying this is how it's supposed to work? Luna backs up the peg for UST, because that's how the guys were describing it the other day. And 100%. Then they're taking their cash and they're buying something else to back it up because they know their shit's fucked.
Dude, just think about it, guys. I mean, it's hard to think about in hindsight, Sam. Let's be honest. To counter engineer all this stuff in your head when there's a million things going on, nearly impossible. But in hindsight, you must take these lessons and learn them so you can project them onto the other projects. It makes them much more clear. Because if you see this happen 5 times, you know, but if it never happened, I would trust centralized protocols. I'd say, fuck it, I don't give a shit. You think I care? If they were going to give me 40% and everyone trusted it and it was working for 10 years straight, I would probably do it. But these things, they happen. If you pay attention, if you hear these things, if you look at Sam, if we were really covering Terra as hard as maybe we should have been, we would have looked at the top and we would have said, because what was I saying when those guys came on? It just seems like counterparty risk all over the place. That was like my only point. I was like, it sounds good. Everyone's doing good. It's cool. But it's like, how many moving parts are there? How many people can shove their dirty hand in here and make a move, Sam? And that's what they did. This was a direct attack.
That's how I felt about one of the project we talked to about a month ago or 2 months ago, but we're not going to mention their name. I was just like, this just seems like way too much counterparty risk. And this is a perfect example, like why it's so important. People, if you're dealing with a counterparty, things can go wrong. Things can definitely go wrong. And when you see the founder literally doing something that undermines what he says is the truth for the project by buying Bitcoin to back up his project when Luna is supposed to back up UST, it's not the case. But it's so with Liquid Loans. So I saw a couple of comments with Liquid Loans, right? So Liquid Loans is you're backing your own shit up. it's not like them where they're printing it out if you buy this and trade it in towards something. And then getting a fee on it. It's you have $100,000 of Pulse. You put that into the liquid loans vault and you borrow against that, right? So say if you borrow $50,000 against your $100,000 worth of Pulse, now you're maybe at like a 200% collateralization or something like that. When that 200% gets down to 110%, your value. Remember, you pulled out USDL. You pulled out their stable coin. So you pulled this stable coin out. You already have $50,000. Your Pulse went from 100,000. Now it's like $55,000 worth. So when it hits that number, you get liquidated. You get liquidated because you already got most of the value, that $50,000. So it's all backed up by Pulse. This could introduce other issues, right? When using liquid loans, you don't have any interest to pay. You don't have any loans in terms of monthly payment. You need to pay back in terms of terms. There's no terms like that. But you're now holding volatility. So holding volatility, you're going to be long volatility. So if Pulse goes down drastically, right? We just saw Luna drop 50% in 24 hours, 36 hours or something. If that happens, which it probably will at some point, and you have these massive drops, you can have things like a bunch of people all get liquidated because if they're sitting at too close to that collateralization line, they can get liquidated. So hopefully that was helpful. We've got crypto.
I had very positive vibes about Hurricash, Jen, and I still do. And my OCD is not flaring at all. And I definitely would love if you chimed in, because my thumbnail says special guest Hurricash senior developer.
I'm gonna bring him up and see if he
Qui-Gon Jinn.
Jin, what's up? He's communicating with me.
I just messaged in the Telegram, guys. Hurricash, can you hear that vacuum?
No, not at all. You're static. Can't hear what's going on. Hey, on the Terraform Labs, the UST was different.
I'll read this. You think about it. UST was different. You would burn Luna and get UST. Then Founder brought BTC reserves. USDL never burns Pulse. Value of Pulse is always the vault, and the value in vault can never drop below USDL. I have to think about the specifics of that. That's hard.
So think about your house, right? So say if your house is worth $100,000 and you borrowed $80,000 against your house. So you have $20,000 of equity on your house, right? It's worth 100. This is equity, meaning money that's yours, but it's just sitting there. And the $80,000 is a loan from the bank. Now, something happens in the housing market, and the price of your house, the market value of your house, drops down to $70,000. With a real estate loan, you do not get liquidated, right? As long as you just continue to pay on your loan, you're good. It doesn't matter. When you're in liquid loans, when it drops down past that, if that same example, 100,000, 20,000, right, equity, when it drops down there, you get liquidated. So it's not yours anymore, kind of thing.
Hey, Bullish said he is here, my guy. Hey, let's talk about this real quick while they get all set up, so we don't have to. Real quick, before we'll close out this little thought real quick. Sam, what did you pull up here?
This is Terra Luna and UST. This is over the last 7 days on Google search volume. So that's what this is in the United States. Actually, let's go to worldwide because I think that might tell a more interesting story. This is the spike in interest around this topic. This is a massive spike. You get to see over the last 7 days, there's not much happening, but it's pretty consistent. And just here, so
was it a buy the rumor, sell the news Bitcoin vault? Looks like it was. That once they called that, it looks like they topped out right there. So they were buying the rumor. So they were selling you guys your garbage and letting you eat it, and then dumping on your heads at max click rate volume. And they know that shit. They know all of this stuff. They know when max click rate volume, they know the price is getting over inflated. They know they need to make some news, and then they make news like that, Sam. What do they make that news into? Some sort of positive spin, however convoluted that could ever be, to confuse everyone, right? Because some people came out of that thinking, this is grand. We have more money now.
Do Kwon finally tweeted after 21 hours announcing a close announcement of recovery, whatever that means. This could be worse than.
So I think than the wagon down.
This could
Bullish,
be.
What do you got, my guy?
Bullish. Well, Jen is here. We have the senior developer for Hurricash. Awesome. I'm really looking forward to this. Smart guy. We're going to talk to him about Hurricash. You want to do that intro and then bring him up?
Absolutely.
Jen, good morning. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, buddy? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I can. How are you today?
Pretty good. How are you?
Pretty good. Having a good time talking about Terra Luna. You know all the news, but let's not get into that. I'm not going to get into that, Bullish. I'm not going to get into that. Okay. We're going to get into Hurricash, decentralized platform. That's a big statement, from all the stuff we've been hearing. We love talking about that. But really today, what we want to learn about for everyone who's here is why this is important. And I mean, no one's really going to know the real specifics unless they look themselves. And I'm going to ask you some good questions, but we want to know, like, generally, why should someone use this or consider using this? And I think it's very important for the average user to use this personally.
Right. So for obvious reasons, I won't go over some reasons why some people might use it. But for the average user, it's actually really important. I'm not sure if you're aware, but recently there's been a lot of dusting attacks, especially among the Hex community, where they'll like send you a token, you'll go to swap it, and they'll just drain your account. So one good way to get rid of that is, let me explain. So these people, first, how they found the accounts is they took the list of all the sacrificers to Pulse Chain, PulseX, and they went through that list and they sent these tokens to these people, right? So I don't know if you've checked your balance yet, but chances are you actually probably have these tokens sitting in there right now that if you actually interact with them, they'll drain your wallet. So that's not a good thing.
I know
right?
of a few of those tokens. I can't remember their names, but they come up, right? Like there's more prominent ones than others because some are like marked.
He's saying this is happening right now.
No, I know. I've seen these before. Like they will pop up and it'll say you have a airdrop on your MetaMask if you click this, that, and the other.
Right. So basically, I think these people will actually follow like your address. So let's say you move funds from your sacrifice wallet now to another wallet to try to get away from that. Well, bad news. They're just going to look on Etherscan. They're going to track you down, and they're going to do the exact same thing and send these wallets to your new account, right? So one way to prevent that is to actually break the on-chain link with a privacy protocol, such as Tornado Cash or obviously Hurricash. So what we do is we mix up all the accounts, and you can withdraw into a new address, and there's no way they can kind of track you down and keep attacking you with these dusting attacks. So
is the address a random address, or is it one of the other addresses that was in the pool? Is there a pool?
Can you explain how that works?
Yeah, so I want to actually share my screen, and I'll go up and show everything here.
Appreciate you coming in here, by the way. We were just shooting the breeze about whatever while we were waiting, but we had a lot to talk about. But thank you so much for coming in. I forgot to mention I haven't met you or anything, so thank you very much for coming in.
Yeah, that's all good.
We love protocols that protect users from stuff.
Yeah.
So you're sharing the screen now. Do you want to share the exact screen where we're up here, or do you want to share a tab? Okay,
no, I got it. Let me interact with it.
I have no problem. I'll just share my whole screen here.
So right now you're sharing the StreamYard screen, and now you're on here. So
Do you
I got
see it?
you up right now. You're pulled up.
All right, let me know if you can see the dashboard.
Yep, we got
Yes,
you.
sir.
You're 100% visible on the dashboard.
All right, cool. So first, I'm going to give you kind of a simple explanation of how it works, right? So let's say you're at a party and there's 5 people, and each of the 5 people have a $20 bill. Now, these $20 bills, they have serial numbers on each dollar bill. So that's how you can kind of know, I guess, which person the bill belongs to. So anyways, you got 5 people with each with a $20 bill, right? And each of the people, they put it into a pot, right? And you for putting your $20 bill into the pot, you get a key back. And with that key, what that key does is it lets you take out the equivalent to what you deposited. So you put in 120 and that key is letting you take out 120. And
Oh,
and there's a bunch of $20 bills in there. Now you're getting one back when you redeem that key, but it has a different serial number. So it's no longer connected to you, right? So that's kind
In
of like
that
a
pool, I don't want to call it a pool. I don't know the exact verbiage, obviously, but like when you interact with that, there is some sort of pool and then it kind of shoots out from is that automated? Is it just like all automated somehow?
just code.
Yeah, it's just code. It's just the ring signature algorithm. And I actually had a Russian university professor assist me with this. It's some pretty deep stuff, but it basically, yeah, you get a algorithmic hash which generates, and then you kind of get this receipt number, and you're allowed to withdraw the pulse that you've deposited, but it comes back like it's someone else's, right? So that key just lets you take out one or however many pulse you put in.
Jen, before you get into an example here, I had a question on that. So I love the way you put that together in terms of the pool and then withdrawing it, because that if it's a pool, then it could be, covered up, so to speak, on where it goes out. Now, when people use Hurricash or Tornado Cash, are they generally, because you think about trying to send somebody a receipt type signature thing to withdraw it, are they just basically transferring it to a new one of their wallets so they can send it somewhere? Or are they taking that receipt signature thing that somebody else can reach in to pull it out, and they're sending that to somebody else through like text message or something? How do people generally utilize Hurricash? Because I feel like that might be cumbersome after a while.
Yeah, so there's 2 ways you can do it. You can preemptively kind of determine, oh, I want to send this to a different person and give them the key, right? So you can do it that way, or you can just give it to yourself, but give it to a fresh address that isn't connected to the old one. So there's maybe I'll show you on kind of explain it while I go through.
Cool. Thank you.
All right, cool. Yeah, so I'll start here. So all right, let's say I have some pulse here, right? And I want to put it in a new account, so nobody's watching my account, nobody's following me, nobody can dust attack me. So I'll connect to the protocol. So we're connected here, and let me go over a bit. So these are all the previous deposits here. It'll show the time, the index, and the amount. So I have one selected. There's a 1 million pool. We go up to 100 million and a billion, which is 1,000 million. That might be scaled.
Can you describe why there's different sized pools and why not just one aggregate pool?
Right.
Is it just
So
between the numbers?
no. So basically, remember when I said you each put a $20 bill in the pot? If you were to put in let's say if one person put in $21
I see.
and that one person took out $21, you would know who the person is because everyone else just put in $20.
Oh, so all has to be blocked, basically.
It has to be the same amount, so they can't trace that any different. The variables can't be
Yeah.
super high.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank
Because
you.
if
That's
someone,
very helpful.
let's say even people put different numbers in, someone put 17.5, someone put 28. When they go to take out that 17.5, you know, oh, it's that person because they put 17.5 in.
Perfect. No, that explains it. So depending on the size of the amount people want to move, you're going to have to move it in multiple different blocks, basically, kind of thing.
Exactly, yeah. So they're called anonymity sets. So we have 4, and I might scale it a bit differently. It seems the 1 million was popular. Hardly anyone had 100 million. So we might spread that out.
Maybe 10 million or something. And
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, 500,000, 10 million, or 1 million, 10 million, something like that. So I want to transfer this, let's say, one pulse to a new address. So let's say I want to deposit it to, we'll go with this one here. So what you want to do is you'll be connected with your main account here. And so I want to deposit it to this address.
That's the address 2 is what you just pasted, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
So address 2. So that's all. This is very important. You need to put a recipient address because only that recipient will be able to withdraw the money. I did this as a safety feature. So Tornado, you actually do it afterwards when you're withdrawing. But if you do it when you're depositing, even if you somehow your note gets leaked or someone's like maybe shoulder surfing, they can't just take your funds. It has to be this account.
Can I highlight that, or can you talk about that? Because I think the subtlety of what you just mentioned I think we should talk about it a tiny bit more because it may have been missed by some people. With this address in here as a safety feature for the recipient, if I was on here on, say, Tornado Cash from Jin, my understanding of what you just said, it doesn't have this and it happens on the withdrawal. So say if I'm doing something and somebody's kind of like watching over my shoulder and the pin comes up that allows me to utilize it to withdraw the money. Because it's not attached to an address like it is here in Hurricash, if somebody has the pin, they can access the capital in the pool. But because Hurricash has the recipient address in here, it basically ties it with that. So even if somebody gets your PIN, they can't take out the money unless they have access to your address as well.
Exactly.
I love that. That's fantastic. Cool. Go
ahead. That's a good safety feature because who knows, you could have a spyware on your computer. There's a million things that could go wrong.
Sandy, there is information on the Hurricash.com website on the airdrop for Hurricash. I was reading it this morning, so if you go to the Hurricash website, it's on there. And we'll get to that if he has time for questions after.
Yep. So yeah, this is actually stored in an array in the smart contract itself. So no matter what, only this address can actually withdraw. So I'll show you that later.
Is there a way, just from a security standpoint, and a question on the recipient address, there's no way for somebody to look at transactions going into the network to see the recipient address in any way, shape, or form?
No, you can't. You'd have to be the owner of the contract, and even then, there's no function to emit that call data.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because then somebody could kind of like mitigate the reason.
Yeah. Even like the owner could, right? But even to prevent that, the contract itself is going to be disowned upon launch. So it's truly immutable and decentralized. So I'm going to go ahead and confirm this address. I'm depositing the one pulse. So we'll wait for the secret note to generate here. It'll generate after the transaction goes through and see deposit success. So very important. You need to copy this down and definitely back it up on Notepad, write it down on a piece of paper. just make sure you don't lose this note, because if you lose this note, you will lose your funds. We have been talking about implementing a backend to possibly hash and store the notes, just in case someone does lose it, their computer crashes or something like that.
You mean when somebody loses it? Guaranteed they won't lose it.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's millions on Tornado Cash because people lose their notes or things
So
like
what?
that.
Okay, so
Same
question
with
on that.
Bitcoin and everything. Like, how much free money is floating around in addresses that are just never going to be moved?
Is there
Exactly.
any dialogue within the team on like once something's like left in the pool, say for a year, then it starts to like go like earnings somewhere, because otherwise it's just going to accrue larger and larger amounts over time, sitting there dead.
No, because some people might want to leave it in there for 10, 20 years. Some people might die and might not want to release those funds. Who knows, maybe they're held at gunpoint to do something, and I don't know. There,
Okay.
there's a lot of different reasons why we don't want to kind of come between the user and their funds. We want things to be set in stone kind of with this protocol. So once something's done, it's done. No one can access your funds. No one can take them away. Yeah.
Is one
So-
criticism about is Tornado Cash open source?
It is, but they don't open source their front end. So front ends can actually have back ends, and no one knows. Like, I don't want to spread rumors or anything, but it is possible that in the front end, they could have some kind of database that logs the IP address, the note, where the funds came from, where they're withdrawing them to. All these things can be logged in the back end without you knowing it. That's why when we release Hurricash, we can actually open source our front end, so you can download the front end as a file and just run it on your desktop. Yeah.
So you guys
So-
say real quick. I know I'm going to let you go right after this. You guys say that you're the premier on Pulse Chain, but do you guys have plans to if this is truly decentralized and it works out? Do you have plans to be a feature on other blockchains as well?
Yeah, I was gonna try on Phantom originally back in October last year, but the fees really add up with something like this. Like over time, like with Ethereum, like the fees kind of stacked over time to where Tornado Cash is really not that usable to the average person anymore. And I was under the impression that like Phantom went up to $3, and like every chain was starting to become expensive, and I think Pulse Chain might be the alternative to that. It might be able to save expensive gas fees, because this is this can get gas fee intensive. So
Isn't it fair to say that Pulse Chain very shortly not shortly maybe, but like could also be very gas fee extensive?
I don't know, because I haven't looked too deeply into this, but I know Phantom did have the cheapest network for a while, and they actually have a control over like changing how much the gas fees actually are. And what happened at the beginning was the gas fees were so cheap on Phantom that people were just spamming the network with useless transactions just to clog the network on purpose. And because it's so cheap, it was like a hundredth of a penny to do a transaction. There were people running bots trying to clog the transaction and slowing it down. So they actually had to manually adjust the gas fee, and they actually raised it. I don't know if you know this, but
No, this is. Do
they
you
had
see
to
this?
raise the gas fee so that people wouldn't spam the network because it would cost them too much to spam the network, right?
Do you see that like as a possibility for
Yeah, and
Pulse?
I thought about it and I asked about it, but I haven't really got an answer back. But
Hey, we really appreciate that was I'm going to look into that more just for fun. That was awesome insight just on the market in general. And we can get back to that. I thank you for being transparent. I really appreciate you being transparent and just talking us through this.
Yes.
yeah, no
thank
worries.
you.
And I mean, yeah, if it is successful, there are other I could easily make this multi-chain. I could easily make this a multi-chain
Is
DApp.
is is there a way? I'm sorry. This is the last question. I'll let you get back into the print because this is fascinating stuff. I'm super curious. On the multi-chain, is there a way to basically make Hurricash the Hurricash for crypto in general, like all chains, and they're like large pools of multi different tokens?
Right. So I would basically just copy paste the contract for each chain and then just do the connect wallet with ethers JS to each individual chain, like how Sushi Swap has, right? You can click the connect wallet and then select the chain. So you can do the same here, or you might be able to in the future. We'll see
So
what happens.
you could basically put in ETH and pull out Pulse or something like that. Because
No, so
that would be crazy shit if you could go like, you know what I mean? Go in one way and come out in a completely different network.
yeah, nothing's impossible. And I mean, I was thinking about making tunnels, which is like bridges, right, from one network to the other, but having it shielded. So when you bridge over, it breaks the on-chain link.
Yes.
Um, but uh,
Do it.
but yeah, that's further down the roadmap here.
Cool. Well, I'll let you get back into your thing here. So we get the pin here. We copy it down because otherwise we're fucked, right?
Yeah. So I made it clear that you really need to save it. So it won't let you close the window unless you click this. Click I've saved my secret note. Close window. So now we have the note we want to withdraw, right? So you can use a relayer, and I'll explain what that is. So let's say you account for it. Let's say you have a new account here, right? And you don't have any pulse in. To actually transact with or interact with any smart contract, you have to pay gas, right? So you have a problem here. You don't want to send pulse from an exchange because then it'll connect your name to this account, right? So how do you get pulse in here? Well, you could go to a faucet. You could ask a friend possibly to loan you some pulse, or you could use the relayer. So the relayer will actually pay the gas fee for calling this withdraw for you. So you don't have to pay. You could have an empty wallet like this, and you'll actually borrow from the relayer for a small fee for like 1.3%. I think it's at right now, and you'll get to withdraw your tokens for free, basically. Well, you'll get
Minus
have that,
the fee, yeah.
but you won't have to pay gas. Yeah. So, or if let's say some friend or you went to a faucet, then you wouldn't have to use this, and there'd be no fee at all. So, yeah, we'll do the relayer first here.
Cool.
So actually, it's good practice to actually disconnect from any DApp you use, just to be safe, you know.
Thank you for that, because that is something that I've not been doing. So thank you for that. Yes, Sam.
So
you should start
that's
doing
how you
that.
do it there. Let me connect here. So you want to be connected with the account that you're withdrawing into. And if you remember from before, the address here is the account we're connected to now. So we're going to place that note here. We're going to use the relayer. We're at 2.9. And Can't withdraw 206. Okay, someone must be following along here. I think we were full and now we're at 2. So let me just go ahead. I'll speed things up. Normally, I wouldn't recommend doing this, but we can go ahead.
I really
So I'm
appreciate
glad-
this. I really appreciate this, man.
Yes.
Yeah, no worries. So yeah, I'm going to push it through. So I'll just put it into the... Why don't we do account 4 here? Show the relayer working. So... All right, let's push it through. So we got to do... The ring actually has to be filled for us to withdraw. So I'll
What
just
does
go
that
ahead.
What does that mean when you say the ring has to be filled?
So
I see
remember
ring
back to
status in the
the...
background.
Back to the analogy of the $20 bills, and you're putting it into like a bucket or a hat, right? So each hat you can visualize as a separate container, and each one has to be full until you're able to withdraw, basically.
So
And
so that would mean if you're trying to put in $15, that's not going to work because it's a $20 pool that you're entering. Is that what you mean? Or
yeah. So let's say each picture that as like a container, and it has to be filled with 6 people, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then once 6 people fill it up, it opens up a new empty one, right? And all the people in here are able to withdraw. And then this empty one has to be filled up with people. So one person deposits, another person, and that's full. Okay, now all the people who deposited in here are able to withdraw. Making sense? And then
yes.
and
that's
then the
is that
next
per
one,
pool size? Is that per pool size?
yeah, each pool is 6.
Okay.
And then
And what's the thought process behind the ring? As in, like, I think there was 5 dots, so or 6 dots you just mentioned across the bottom. So why have that there for security? I'm assuming, but I'm not understanding why.
right, so this will let you know how close to being full the ring is. So see, I just deposited, now there's 3 people. And if you see there's like, maybe you don't want to wait a long time. So, hey, I'll come back another day and deposit, right? If there's only 1 spot left, that means you'll be instant. You'll have instant anonymity. It's hard to say. But
When
yeah,
there's no volume, is it easier to track? Like, how's the initial volume going to be distributed so that, you know what I mean? Like, if there's
Yeah.
only a little bit of volume, people might know exactly who's, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it'll definitely be easier to make a guess. But I assume even with like a fraction of tornado caches, like 1%, like you'll still be whipping through these rings like crazy.
How
And,
many wallets sacrifice for this, if you don't mind?
I don't even know.
Okay, cool. I was just
I don't
curious. I have no idea either. I wasn't around paying attention yet at that
Yeah,
point.
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
this would be one of those projects I would be super interested in sacrificing for.
Sorry about
Yeah.
interrupting you.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah. It's just something I did quick to fund the project. I wasn't looking for a money grab or anything like that. Not saying that other
This
projects
does not seem like a money. If I could think of 100 ways for Jin to do a money grab, this would probably be the last one.
Because nobody even knew about it. Nobody even knew.
Hard. Come on, guys. This is difficult stuff. He is putting his whole life's work into this, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's pretty intensive. It's fun though.
I appreciate that attitude too. Like, just by saying like it's fun. Like that's exactly how I feel about looking into crypto every day. Like, people are like, "Oh, it's so hard." I'm like, to me, it's like, well, what else am I gonna do? This is the best.
Yeah, just chill at your computer, listen to music. And,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, this is so this front end is not available, but when Pulse launches, and then I'm assuming Hurricash is going to launch relatively quickly after the words. When somebody goes to hurricash.io or whatever it comes out to be, they are able to download a app to their computer so that they can run it.
Yeah, so I don't think there will be an app, but you can download the source code on GitHub and compile it and run it yourself if you know how to install Node and all that stuff. Maybe I'll have a guide, but for non-developers, how to kind of get set up.
I'm actually learning today, my first day ever.
We're gonna need that, kid.
Learning how to start my journey and learning how to understand basic code starts today. I have an appointment with Fashion Coder.
Cool. Yeah, coding's great. So all right, so I should be able to withdraw that. So let's go back here. We'll disconnect. And we'll go to, oh, you said this isn't, it's actually is available. I have it hosted here. We have it posted in our Telegram chat too, actually. So you can actually try this right now today.
And I'll post that Telegram in the chat, guys. Anyone who has any detailed questions or wants to know more, I'm sure they would like you to go in there.
All right, so I'm going to withdraw now. So we have that note here. So I'm going to use this example without a relayer because I do have some pulls in here. So let's try withdrawing here. All right, so you see there is a gas fee, but this would be paid by the relayer if you went the relayer option.
And it would just take it out of the amount.
Yeah. Yeah. So 2.9. So great. So there you go. You got the 3.
And now you're not in that. It's not connected to that address that's known. It's on a brand new address.
Yeah, essentially, this is just an example. I'd probably have a whole different seed phrase and stuff, but you can definitely just make a new account too and do it that way.
Can I ask you about fees in the system?
Yeah.
Okay. How do the fees work? So there's a network fee, probably no matter what you're doing, obviously. But then you said there's a 1% fee. Where does that go and how does that work? Is that going to the people holders of Hurricash?
So right now there's no fees on depositing or anything like that at all. Unlike other protocols, they all have fees, but just for now, there's no fee. We do have on this test net, there is a fee for the relayer of 1.3%, and that just pays for the pulse and like a bit extra. And basically, this isn't complete. I'm still coming together with a game theory for the mining and all that, but basically, I want to pool all that money into a smart contract and award people fee share based on how much her tokens they're staking, and her will be the native token for the protocol.
Okay, so her is going to be the token protocol that's probably going to they're going to get their points or whatever for sacrificing, and then you can take her and stake that in this protocol as well.
So
or that's the intention. You're maybe not ironed out all the details or something, but it's basically going to be that something similar to that.
Yeah. So this is the first time actually me mentioning in detail the mining aspect, but basically, there'll be a panel over here for the farm, and basically, in order to join normally you just get you get liquidity pool tokens, right? And you stake those liquidity pool tokens, and the protocol will actually award you their token for staking liquidity, right? Have you done a farm before?
I have not done a farm, but I'm going to try to explain to see if the framework in my head is correct. When I'm putting up, say, on like Paul Sachs, when it comes out liquidity for an LP pair, I'm putting up XYZ and ABC, and I get a token that represents my thing in there. I can stake that token, and then I earn the incentive token. So you're talking about the incentive token piece of it, not the LP token that represents my share of those in the pool. Is that accurate?
Yeah, sort of. So how a farm works is, right, you'll stake liquidity in their pool, and for giving them liquidity, you'll be rewarded with their native token. So let's say I have DAI is the liquidity, and then the token is let's say hex, right? So you have DAI hex. So you usually stake an equal amount, so $100 worth of DAI and $100 worth of hex, and you stake it in the pool, and it gives you back a liquidity pair token, which you can then redeem to get the liquidity out, which is the hex and the DAI you put in originally. So you get this liquidity pool token, and you take that token and you stake that token, and while you're staking that token, you're earning the hex, let's say the native token, right? So why that's bad and why that didn't work out for Tornado Cash is because it just puts endless sell pressure. It kind of makes it a little Ponzi game, right? Where you're not really creating anything, you're not doing much, you're just giving liquidity so people can sell the token. But with our protocol, you're going to have people needing to not just give liquidity pool tokens, they'll also have to provide a secret note proving that they've made a deposit. So what this does is it actually helps our protocol by getting more users actually using it, right? So you don't want to end up with something like this where no one's using it and it's just empty. So I'm kind of staging it. So like for each one, when you deposit and get a secret note and you deposit with the liquidity pool, each pool will have a different return rate. And the more you deposit, the better APY you're going to be getting off of your secret note and that certain pool, right?
So there's people who, because if you're trying to say pass money through that is a larger amount of something through one of these protocols, it's easier to track that because the larger amount. So it sounds like if there's going to be another area on there where somebody could just go through and deposit into a pool for staking, whether they're trying to use the protocol to pass through to a clean wallet or not, but they could just put it in there to earn. And depending on the pool, and just leave it there for however long they want to earn yield. Is that accurate? Or are you thinking about it?
Yeah, exactly. And then of course, there will be an expiry date for each secret note. Once you've, of course, used the secret note, or if it's just been sitting in there for too long, like a month, then it would expire. So people would have to deposit again. So that would keep the anonymate or the sets fresh, and it would really boost up the amount of people using it. It would increase the privacy.
So wait a second. So if it expires, so say somebody puts in $1,000 into the pool, and you said that they use their secret like receipt pin thing to put this into the pool.
Yeah.
Right. And then you said that expires after it's in the pool?
Yeah, so it can expire after a month, and that just means like they won't get yield. They won't earn yield after a month. They'll have to withdraw and then redeposit because, as you know, once like a ring's passed, it doesn't. It doesn't. Let's say two of these people have withdrawn, so there's four sitting back here still. That doesn't help the new people depositing into the next ring, right? That just sits back there and doesn't do much. So what we want is more new. We want them depositing again, so they fill up
Goes up
quick.
faster.
Yeah, so they fill up quicker each time. We don't want people just having it sitting there doing nothing, right? So there's actually a use case built in to farming here, whereas with traditional farming, there's no real use case. It's just kind of Ponzi tokenomics, right? People are just after higher yields. But with this, including a secret note along with the liquidity pair token, it actually provides use to the protocol.
Because it adds frequency to the rings. Yeah, especially if you. That's interesting. Is there
real quick? I got to plug away at least a question or two here, so a couple people have similar questions. Does Hurricash? Hold on. There was one I wanted to say first. This one will be quick. My question is: do you have to give permission to this website? Is it just read only, or are you talking? Is he talking about this website in particular, or once it's live? Look, probably.
This website is live right now. You can go to this link right here, and you can use it.
Yep.
So,
we actually the permission on the website.
Well, if you're gonna use the protocol, you got to give it permission. Yes.
I know, but like, there's different kinds of permissions. Like, I don't know exactly what people mean when I know like you have to have permission to get on everyone, but like some there's read only, and then some it's like different. If we'll get into that at some other point if that question is not clear, because I don't really know the back end of that question too well, to be honest. Will there be a Hurricane Cash airdrop to the Pulse X sacrifice set as well as the Pulse sacrifice set? That was two people asked that same question.
So originally we were just going to do it to the Pulse chain. And originally, to the Pulse chain, only people who sacrificed on the Ethereum chain. But now with all the dusting attacks, we're thinking of reconstructing that whole airdrop model. And when we launch, we want to educate users and kind of airdrop it on people who use the protocol. So
how is that going to work? That's super interesting.
Yeah, so basically, if you've interacted, we won't send it. We can't send it to your fresh address, but we can send it to the address that initially deposited to the protocol, right? So we could send you her tokens to your address. Your original address. So.
Will you be able to use this with like Pulse X, like basically any token on a Pulse chain?
So we're thinking of starting just with Pulse and DAI, and then adding her, and then eventually we might, if there's enough demand, we might add like Pulse X, Hex, and things like that.
Okay.
How long does it take to perform the whole mix? Monero usually takes 20 to 30 minutes, but once they have an exploit that let people track short time transactions. Do you understand?
Yeah. So as far as the time, it's up to the amount of users using the protocol. And I mean, if there's a lot of people using the protocol, it's very hard to guess who withdrew. And even from a legal standpoint, you can't legally prove that that person was connected to the exit exit amount no matter what. You can't prove that. So uh, from a logical standpoint, it's very difficult, and from a legal standpoint, it's impossible. Monero, unless you're someone's not using a VPN or something like that. But yeah.
Is there going to be a way to send to multiple addresses? That would be a dope feature. I feel like a lot of people might be interested in. So like in the recipient here, I'm actually going to do, and just a toggle next to it, 50% or, 25, 50, or like, or maybe that makes it way too complex, like not something that could be happening. But I'm like, I feel like some people may find that interesting. I don't know. You have way more experience on this type of stuff, and I just thought of that as you were talking.
I mean, nothing's impossible, like I said, but usually people who are using these things, they're kind of transferring one big lump sum to one new address at once. And even if you want to do that, you could just transfer the lump sum to a fresh address. And then once it's at that fresh address, you can then split it amongst the other addresses you want to send it to.
Gotcha. Thank you.
I know Tornado Cash, the developer, his name's Roman Storm, and he actually has another app that he made before Tornado Cash called Multisend, and it's a different tool, but yeah, you can send to multiple addresses with that tool. It doesn't do it anonymously or anything. It just spreads it out to all the different addresses you want to send it to.
That's fascinating. So Jin, this has been absolutely amazing. Like I'm like blown away. I didn't have any idea how to do any of this stuff. What if people want to like learn more about this? Because I'm sure there's going to be plenty of people who are fascinated. What's like the best way for people to like either reach out or like learn more? Because you had just mentioned a couple minutes ago, part of the Hurricash and the thing behind it is educating more people on how it works and also how to use it and probably use cases. So how can people what's the best way for people to reach out and learn more about it, or you or whatever?
So yeah, just come to our Telegram. Our community is fairly active. Come check out our Discord. It's not as active. Our Twitter, we're going to start announcing things a bit more actively, but yeah, for sure, check out our Telegram because that's the most active place. And
I posted a Telegram in both of the chats, guys, more than once. So anyone who wants to join that Telegram, I'll drop it one more time.
Please, I want to join. that's a selfish question there.
Sam, you got to be happy. Come on, you're just weeks behind me, bro. I mean, will Sam ever catch up? There's too many projects. No, I'm just kidding. There's a lot of projects, guys, but this one is really different. Real quick, before we get off, I want to ask him one simple question that everyone's kind of asking. What is the clear difference between what you're doing and what Tornado Cash has already kind of done? Because it's already proven itself in a way, right? In a way, but it's also hard. It has problems, obviously, and I was reading about them, but I don't want to get into that specifics because I don't know enough.
So number one, I guess, is just, granted enough users use it, it's quicker and cheaper. And yeah, that coming from a user perspective, if you just want to be anonymous, that's all you gotta know is it's quicker and cheaper. And it'll be right there for Pulse launch, whereas Tornado, it might take some time before someone actually forks the front end and builds the infrastructure for that.
Thank you. Appreciate your time, brother.
Man, awesome. Absolutely incredible, transparent. I mean, when they said, I assumed somebody wasn't going to be showing face, to be honest. This is one of the only projects that I was never assuming someone, because people always say if they're not showing their face, but it's guys, there's some things that cause more problems than good when you're dealing in certain fields, and putting your face in front of everyone could be not. And
I mean, it's just I'm not too worried. It's just a waste of time. You got people tracking you down. There's I know Uniswap, they're just doing some legal battles because some woman bought some shitcoin and lost money, right? Like things that they shouldn't be held responsible for. But yeah, even things like this, though. I mean, who knows? Who knows if I'm even the person deploying it? You know, it could be someone else deploying it. I don't want to
You
say
could
it's
be upstairs in my house right now. We could just be doing a little art, like, hey, buddy, pretend you're a dev real quick. You know, like, you never know. Like, that's what I always tell people. It's just okay to be completely skeptical of others, but you have to just read the facts. Like, you have to be able to, and that's why,
Yeah.
because I was getting to the point, Jin, where I kept asking people questions and I kept getting different answers from experts, right? From experts that made me believe that they were experts through the way they acted. And then I asked a question and it's fuzzy, right? When I get these fuzzy answers, so I'm like, I'm gonna just have to learn how to code so I can at least read through some of these basic things, right?
Yeah, and that's a good thing. It's good to be skeptical because, you know, in the space, people will just start sacrifices for projects that, you know, are total fantasy, and you know, or or things they just fork. But uh, you know, I know there's some NFT projects that raised over like $200 million, and they come up with garbage, right? And then they just say, "Oh, sorry guys, we're out of dev funds," and they close shop and move on to the next thing. But uh, yeah, and it's hard to know these things from a consumer standpoint too, because if you don't code, you don't know how to audit things. You don't know if things are real or not. But yeah, definitely learn some coding so you can kind of browse through things and
I
maybe
also want
tell
to show people it's not rocket science, probably. Like if you put your mind to something, you can learn general concepts about stuff, but you just have to look, you have to be detailed with it, you know, like you got to pay attention. You have to really be interested in what's going on. And that's the hard part, right? Like the interest.
exactly. Yeah, that's just it. It takes time, and you have to be interested in it. Yeah.
I appreciate you so much, man. If you have any updates that you want to show to the people at any time, please come directly back on the show so you can present them, whether that's 10 minutes, an hour, even if you want to chop up. I don't know if that's your style. You ever want to come up here and chop up about something different? Feel free.
Yeah.
I like guys that have big brains around here. Big brains.
I'm not that smart.
Well, come on, man. Detail orientation and smartness are similar, and someone to dive into a product like this, I don't have to ask.
All right. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate being on here, and I hope I can let other people know about it so they can get saved from dust attacks, or you know, they want to hide their money from a angry spouse or something, whatever it is. Yeah, I appreciate new users. So
When it comes closer to launch time, and you're going out and you want to talk about how people could use it and save themselves with the GitHub stuff, also because like people are watching, right? There's probably going to be a post within the next week, maybe 700 people who've watched the stream. Not like that's a boatload, but also it's 700 people that can spread more of the awareness. And I think something like Hurricash, which can help provide that extra level of safety for a lot of people. I think that's a good thing to bring that to more people personally. So when you're ready for that, let us know, and love to have you back on, brother.
yeah, sounds good, man. Good being
Cool.
on.
Have a great day, Jim. We'll see you in the Telegram.
All right, take care.
Have a good one, man.
Peace out.
Sam, I'm going to ask you a couple simple questions, but first, I'm going to use the restroom. And then I'm going to ask, well, you can give the audience any spiel you want, but I'm going to ask if it's possible, could you stay on for another 22 minutes?
Yes.
You could.
Yes.
Okay, because I would love to talk to you for 20.
Cool.
And
I'm going to pull up.
pull up anything you got. I'm going to use the restroom real quick, guys. That was absolutely incredible.
That was awesome.
If you guys don't think that was dope, that I was locked in like a laser beam trying to do it in the background. He noticed that I was trying to do it because I was playing with it as he was going on my other monitor. And man, exciting stuff, Sam. Sam, you're going to be one of the only guys that knows about this stuff in real time before the government gets its absolute hands and ties in between everything we do. Therefore, you can front run your freedom by getting into these things before they have absolute control and decentralizing your own bank account with the tools that potentially you're using. And we're telling you here live.
And you're also going to learn how to do some basic
That's
coding
not your
stuff.
mic stand. Your mic's fine. You don't have to hold it. Your mic never changed.
I've done that 3 or 4 times and I'm not even realizing it. The mic is right here. Okay. So he's going to run to the bathroom. I'm going to show you guys something for Twitter real quick. And then I'm going to show you that S-curve adoption, right? Because the S-curve of crypto is coming and it is absolutely insane. But you know what else is also absolutely insane? This tweet from Motley, where he goes, if you can beat me in followers on Twitter by July 30th, he's got over 14,000. If I can beat him by July 30th, the 90-day fitness challenge date, I get 50,000 hex. So if you want to help, if you enjoy this content, if you get value from this content, you want to help out, there's a link down below for Twitter. Jump over to Twitter, press the follow button, and then retweet something that you like. I'm talking about. I'm on there daily. There's plenty of shit. If you find something that I say that was interesting, retweet it so I can get more attention. Because the only way, I've got just crossed over 3,000 followers because of you guys. The only way I have a chance of winning, I need like 4,000 plus followers per month to be able to win. But the only way I can win is with your help. That's the only way. But when it comes to crypto and the S-curve, everybody can win. And I'm going to show you how to do that. But let's get into what the S-curve actually is first. So I'm going to pull this up to talk about what an S-curve is. And then we're going to look at some actual S-curves for adoption. This is the chart. You've probably seen this 1,000 times, right? In school and whatnot, right? It's like early innovators, early adopters, early majority, late majority, laggards, right? And you see this bell curve of adoption. When you stack these percentages, right? And you go from 2.5%, right? Then you add on 13.5 more, then you add on 34. This is just like the standard bell curve, right? You end up with this lighter blue line here, right? So this is when somebody says S-curve, this is what they're talking about. And when you look at technology, every single technology has followed an adoption curve. So I'm going to pull up a couple adoption curves here just to show you, for example, but this plays out with every single type of technology. So what do we have here? We get to see the internet. This chart is obviously old. Television, you get to see it follows that general S-curve of adoption, right? You get to see the TV one is probably a very nice example of that. This PC, right? This is obviously an old chart. If you look at cars, if you look at anything like seatbelts or safety features on your car, all that kind of stuff follows an S-curve. Technology follows S-curves for adoption. So I read through the crypto.com annual report on the state of the nation for crypto. Their estimate is that
for crypto in general.
For crypto in general, they estimate 3.83% of the world population is in crypto. So let me pull this back up so we can understand what is happening here. We are right around here, going into the early adopter phase. That means the adoption of crypto is about to effing explode. And some more data to be like, well, maybe crypto is different. This is literally what everybody in crypto, I guarantee, has been talking about for the last 13 years since it has been out. They've been talking about, oh, wow, this is going to change the world. This is going to be absolutely insane. All this kind of stuff. Well, let me show you one more chart, which is what happened when you see these S-curves in reality. We'll pull up Google Trends again. So this is crypto worldwide search volume on YouTube from 2008 to today. What does this represent the beginning of? This is going to be the beginning of the S curve in reality, guys. You can see what I'm talking about here. Let's go over to YouTube or to Google, the largest search engine in the planet. This is from 2004, right? So this is before Bitcoin. Before Bitcoin. Bitcoin came out in 2009, I believe. Before Bitcoin. So Bitcoin came out right around this time. There's no search, right, for that. And this is 2017 bull run, and then we set a new low here. We got to spike here. Now we're going to set a new low that's way higher than the previous low. This is exactly how the S curve is going to play out. I literally saw exactly the same thing with Tesla. Exactly the same thing. That's why I'm highlighting this, because we're going to be taking advantage of this. We're going to be taking advantage of this S curve. If you get into crypto right now, you're going to be way ahead of everybody else, because everybody else is going to be buying after you. All these other people are coming in. We're currently at 4% of the world population in crypto, according to crypto.com. That's going to go up. My estimates, how many people do you think you've onboarded in the past year? Just say a number, whatever you honestly believe
30
it
to
is.
50.
30 to 50. Okay. Now, imagine on average, everybody in crypto just onboarded 1.5 people. They onboarded their spouse and a friend, right? But not everybody onboarded a friend. I onboard 2 people, right? The next person only onboards 1. So it's 1.5 people per person. When you do it that way, which I think is extremely conservative, you just said 20 to 30, right? I'm sorry, 30 to 50.
Yeah, but I'm an absolute alpha male.
Correct. So most people are not there, right? So when you just say people onboards 1.2, 1.5 people, we get to half of the world's population in crypto in 2026 or 2027. Think about that.
I wonder if we could extrapolate that from the Hex users too. We could do a chart on Hex growth in general. And you could say if one person onboards 1.5 people, just like we could do this, we could really extrapolate this adoption curve onto anything. And the reason he's saying 1.5 is because it's very conservative. It's like, let's show you these parabolic numbers with the most conservative possible ratio ever to really show people like he's missing the mark by a lot. And Sam knows that. Like, we're trying to get the point across because it's way too epic.
That's 26 or 27. That's 2026 or 2027 with goosebumps, conservative numbers. I believe it's going to happen sooner than that. We're at that beginning of that stage, guys. Nobody else is talking about this. I'm going to have a full video on all of the data because there's other data that I didn't cover and I didn't pull up. That video will be out later today. So if you want to check that, my YouTube is down below. Just press the subscribe, press the bell notification. And when that video comes out covering all the data around this, you'll be able to see, like, this is going to be an incredible time, bro. Like, this next 3 years, 5 years, as we transition to being half of the world population in crypto. Holy shit, dude. This is going to be insane. This is literally what every single person in crypto has been saying for the last 13 years. I guarantee it. This is going to change the world. They just didn't realize the spectrum of the S curve.
Well, I think it's like necessary for S curves to take out other industry too. Like, it's almost like they're two in the same, right? Like, you're collapsing an industry while you're parabolic. That's what, like, you know what I mean? That's what. Okay, I'm back. Has Sam rambled on about Twitter yet? Sam, do you mind rambling on about Twitter? Because I would like to know your take on Twitter. I don't know much about Twitter, but I watched a Twitter executive running down the streets of New York while people were harassing him because something about Project Veritas. Is that the right word?
Project Veritas.
Can you please summarize for Jim Rat a little bit about maybe some of the innards of the conspiracy-esque vibes?
So what Motley was actually talking about was this, I believe. So if you guys want to, thank you for
talking about that. I thought you were talking about
but I can't talk.
I want to know about the conspiracy.
You guys go below to Twitter and just follow. He's taunting me in the comments. It's David versus Goliath, and he's just coming in here with his 14,000 followers, just trying to taunt me. Like, bro, you don't have a chance. So if you guys want to help out, jump down below. So, right, Elon Musk purchased Twitter, right? So we got Elon Musk buying Twitter, and then we have people on the one side of the spectrum saying that they're going to leave Twitter because it's free speech, right? That's literally some of the things that are going on. And Project
People are
Veritas.
worried that they're gonna like forge together and somehow like take out fucking like have our opportunity within like have understand because they're gonna have all the information. They're basically saying they're gonna arb Elon and like turn him into the dark side, right? Is that possible? Like, what is this like?
No. Well,
What is the Veritas thing?
Project Veritas is, do you remember 60 Minutes where they would do like undercover footage like back in the day, like 30 years ago? I used to watch.
Like my parents used to watch that shit.
And they would come in and then they have like somebody asking you questions and there would be a camera there and or like it would be undercover, right? And you'd see like people getting taken down, right? So 60 Minutes used to be like actual journalism. Project Veritas does actual journalism like 60 Minutes used to do when they did stuff like that. And they do that to executives and people that are like doing nefarious stuff. In Twitter, there's a lot of nefarious stuff going on shadow banning people on the right, shadow banning people who have certain political beliefs, shadow banning people so that they are not allowed to, they're reducing their free speech on the platform. Yes, this is the clip here. I think you pulled this up.
Yes. Ready? Oh, we're gonna do it live. Yes, this is James O'Keefe from Project Veritas. I'm outside the stand-up comedy club in New York City. I'm pursuing a Twitter subject executive who is mocking Elon Musk here. Mocking Elon Musk with videotapes, a whole series of Twitter exposés that are going to be public. I interacted with him a few blocks away. He went into an all-out sprint into this comedy club where this Twitter person we have on hidden camera is hiding in the audience. The owner of the comedy club came out and told me that he is a fan of Elon Musk, the owner is, and invited me to go on stage. I'm not making this up. This is not an undercover thing. This is actually happening in New York City. I'm about to go on stage with a videotape of this Twitter executive and confront him again. This is live. This is not planned.
This is awesome.
I'm following this Twitter person. He's sitting in the audience. All right.
This is hilarious.
Where am I going? Oh, there he is. He's turned around. He's turned around. He's coming out. Hello there.
All right, so guys, what led up to this? Here we go. This is so good.
You have already talked to us, sir.
They have some really good stuff. They were the
Hold on, watch this one more thing. Hold on.
There he is. Oh, there you go.
Okay, I'm never
Hi, I want to take a jog, but why are you running? Why are you running away from us? Sir, why are you running? Why are you running across the street? What are you doing? We're jogging here with a Twitter executive on the streets of New York City who's literally gone in an all-out sprint. You shared an email with us. Why are you covering your face? Well, you already talked to us. You shared an email with us here where it said don't disclose confidential information. Do you understand the irony? You're literally disclosing an email. It says right here's the email. I can read. Team groups like Project Veritas are active right now. Right? Excuse me, sir. What is Elon Musk going to do when he sees this? I don't know. Are you going to be terminated?
I enjoy their work. I support what they do. I support James O'Keefe. I've been following him.
Why was he running? Where was he going to go?
When you say really stupid shit and then somebody confronts you about that stupid shit in public,
I would just say, hey, I've had a death in the family. I need time to myself or something. Literally, I would just say something stupid.
They did that to the Pfizer executive who was talking about the fetal cells from like babies in you know what, right? And she was like, hey, don't leak this to the public. But the email leaked about her saying, don't leak this to the public about having the fetuses in, you know, the stuff. Wait. What did you just say? Hold on 1 second. I did not. I was not actively listening enough to that statement. Say that one more time. Fetal cells, right? Baby cells, right? In the stuff, right? That people are poking themselves with. That there's an executive at Twitter saying that you don't want that to get out into the public because it could be bad PR. And somebody sent that over to Project Veritas, and they go to confront the person, and the person like turns around and sprints the other direction. Like there's a lot of bad people out there who are going to continue to get exposed over the next 10 years. And it's going to be like a dark time from in that moment. But as we go through and more of this bad behavior gets exposed, we end up on another side where things are in a much brighter world because of the negativity is getting exposed today. Like that's a real, that you can go look up all that stuff too. It's real. Like it's crazy I feel bad for people who, don't know about that kind of stuff. Or
he said the things people poke themselves with. Thank you for being very, very proper with your speech for the YouTube algorithm. Because we know how they do with that stuff. They just support the masses. YouTube. Thank you so much, YouTube, for being my slave daddy. And I appreciate you very, very much. And I'll do whatever you say forever.
A's Tro 369. He's doing the fitness challenge that we signed up for.
Oh no, that's what everyone was saying in the comments. Everyone, because Wales posted that originally and reposted it, and everyone was like, "Crypto fitness challenge." Just like it was
awesome.
really funny. Sam, I'm assuming you have to go right now, guys. If you haven't already subscribed to Sam's Twitter and his Instagram and his YouTube channel, please do so now. He is a crypto analyst, and it'll
be in my bio later.
It's already in both of my bios because I get shit done. And
I like to pay attention to what I'm doing, so it's not in mine yet. Sorry, bro.
I advertise for clout only. Guys, Sam, it's been great talking to you. As always, we are doing a 24-hour live stream when Pulse Chain launches. Sam and I will probably not both be on screen for 24 hours. I might have to do a couple of things. He might do, but we're going to be running live 24 hours covering the latest and greatest, just like we do with Hurricash, just like we do with all this stuff. We are going to be at the knuckles of this thing while everyone else is talking to their wives and setting up kids with macaroni and cheese and stuff. I'll be studying. I'll be sitting in front of my computer. They'll be hopping on YouTube after they dealt with the 5 kids and the $100,000 in overhead for the month. And I'll be waking up at 4 a.m. studying all day long. I'm uncompetable with. You cannot compete with me because I will never stop until I get exactly what I want.
Cool. Hey, brother, it's been awesome. I appreciate you guys in the comments, everybody here. Appreciate your time. Thanks for getting Jin on. That was awesome. That was super, super helpful. Looking forward to when that launches. Check your sacrifice balances, guys. Second tweet on this. You need to check your sacrifice balances. And looking forward to this summer. It's already great as it is. I'll talk to you guys soon. Do you want to do an outro? Or are you going to stay here for a bit?
I'm going to stay here for a bit for sure. Richard Hart's going live in an hour. I'm going to stay on. And Sam, if you want to hop on at any other moment, you have 10 minutes, 20 minutes here. We're going to be staying on until Richard goes live. Who knows what the vibes will be?
You could probably live stream Richard's on here. Pull up the video, watch it.
Well, I would rather just, by that time, I'm going to want to get off.
Okay. All right, cool.
Yeah, I don't want
all right, peace out.
I also like to enjoy my life a little bit. So enough. But everyone, but Sam, thank you so much as always. Your critical thinking was very helpful with it was because I was bouncing around the internet and playing with the testnet while I was going. But I mean, it was pretty clear cut, right? We got to look into the details to make sure this dude's not, it's not like a classic, like someone's not paying attention, huge blind spot, oversaturated.
Where is everybody saying it's an hour and a half? So it's at 2:30 EST.
It's on it. Somebody dropped a link below. Well, I'll drop the link below if 6ix9ine's not in here still. But yeah, it's on some girl's name. Her name is Wendy's or something.
Her channel. Somebody will.
She's a cute brown-haired girl with tattoos, and the thumbnail says "Crypto Doomed." So that's pretty cool. Nice we love when Richard Hart goes live. Sam, thank you so much. Outro you out. Everyone, have a great night. Tricked you on that one. Tricked you on that one. Guys, share this out. If you are in here and you have not hit the subscribe button, please, please, please do that right now. Share this out. I'm going to be sitting here. I'm absolutely locked in right now. I'm going to read an article. I'm going to read an article about Terra Luna. If anyone wants to come on and talk about Terra Luna or anything about Pulse Chain or PulseX or Hex or the overall markets in general, please let me know. Oh, he's also streaming on his channel. Cool. That'll be interesting to see the numbers, how they differentiate. I always like to check that because it's like the person that has 800,000 subs always has like a third of the overall. Hit the likes, y'all. Sam Biceps, 16-inch arms, more like 26-inch arms. Wendy's is always on with BitBoy around the blockchain. Oh, so Wendy's is one of those. I see. So this is more mainstream. Interesting stuff, guys. Interesting stuff. Let me throw some links around. I'm going to pull up an article. Actually, Bullish, if you're there, can you pull up that article? It was Richard's last 3 tweets on Terra Luna. It was just like an article. I want to read it. I could pull it up if you're not sitting there. Let me see. Let me see. Hold on 1 second. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Let me zoom this in for myself. Okay. This crypto tycoon has predicted Terra's UST will crash in 2021. Today's crypto market sent shockwaves, giving investors a reality check that not everything's named stable is indeed stable. Even stablecoins are facing the wrath of the market despite their being pegged to the UD dollar. Stablecoins, known as UST, act as hedge against volatility and even in worst case scenarios goes a little above or less than $1. However, Terra Luna's UST plunged straight 40% today and reached a day low of 60 cents roughly. Though the UST is now recovering in price, the damage to its reputation and most importantly stability is done. Scroll down a little more. Is there anything else on that? Its native token Terra bled the most and is still bleeding as it slipped more than 48% in just a day. Terra is struggling to recover and might find it hard to claw back before trading in green. The market might take time to stabilize and several tokens could be buried deep in the red. And when they say several tokens, they mean every single token native to the Terra Luna chain. So they just let's make that a little more clear. Every single token native to the Terra Luna blockchain is absolutely in trouble. This crypto tycoon predicted. Who is this crypto tycoon? Richard Hart. Right here. Stay right there. Scroll up one bit. Stablecoins are digital money built on Ethereum platform and is designed to stay at a fixed value. The volatility is minimum with few ups and downs, even if the price of ETH changes and is pegged to the US dollar. However, today's scenario was a fact check that the market can topple even stablecoins, which are pegged to the US dollar. Guys, so then we're going to be talking about why. Why is that? You always want to ask why, right? Crypto tycoon and the founder of Hex, Richard Hart, had predicted in 2021 that stablecoins can lead to total destruction. He predicted that stablecoins are not safe and they trade all your good ones for the bad ones, leaving with the valueless ones. So interesting, guys, the way that Richard Hart kind of was breaking this apart because he knew literally what was occurring. Think you're safe? You might not be. If you deposit 2 kinds of ETH stablecoins to a pool to try to make yield and one fails, the market will trade all your good ones for the bad ones, leaving you with valueless ones. That is exactly what is occurring right now. What seemed conservative can lead to total destruction, he had tweeted. So that's the same with all of these pools that you think are stable, Maxi, Hex, everything like that. Things can happen, guys, in general, just in general. So here, go back to that for 1 second. Yeah, and then he tweeted that out. Funny, funny, funny stuff, guys. Not funny, actually, not funny stuff. Actually, really not funny stuff. Funny stuff isn't he called it, and it's kind of funny, but in general, really not good when people lose all their money being misled. In general, we don't agree when people are misled and then lose all their money. I was in a Terra Luna chat with 900 people, and they were all misled. It was clear. They were, they were led to slaughter by bad actors within a system that did not protect themselves and have the foresight to see these bad actors, and or they've done it within themselves. So it could have either been them or bad actors within the protocol. But these are things that need to be addressed beforehand. There now, the Terra Luna people are acting like it's like we were attacked. It's like, oh yeah, everyone's attacked. Everyone gets attacked. Every human. Have a great day, everyone. Going for a walk before the RH stream. Great to see you, Sandy Beach. Thank you so much. In that Twitter space. Yeah, I was in that Twitter space last night. 900 people all getting liquidated at the same time. Absolutely some of the weirdest things I've ever seen. I mean, some of the craziest things I've ever seen in crypto were in that chat last night. In the rationalizations that people were making were truthfully scary, to be honest. RH is going to say a lot about the crypto space crumbling all over the place. Yes, he is. I completely agree with you. Good work, GRC. Thank you so much, Tyrannosaurus Hex. I appreciate you. Compliance, great to see you. Stylist19, hit the like, y'all. Wendy, is always, RH stream link, blah, blah, blah. And move down a little bit. Crazy. Any links anyone wants me to look up of any sort, let your boy know. Boom, 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 boom. 66 live viewers. Don't give Wendy viewers. Watch RH's stream. Yeah, make sure you guys watch RH stream, not Wendy's stream. That's going to be critical. Very, very critical. Hold on one sec. I'm going to copy this link. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, guys. Boom, boom. There's the link. Exactly, Bob. Hurricane link, please. It's hurricanecash.com. Hurricane. Oh, it's hurricash.com. I'm sorry. Hurricash.com. Lucky Taylor, good to see you in here. I don't think I've ever seen you in here, Lucky Taylor. He left about 20, 30 minutes ago. So if you rewind, you can catch. It was about 30 minutes in we started, and we ended about 20 minutes ago. So it was a good hour where he was in there, and it was really good. It was really in depth. So you could pretty much figure everything out from that, and reading the documents on the website, hurricash.com, will give you pretty much everything you need. Let's real quick, just gonna send a couple things out, guys. I'm so sorry. I can't look at two screens at once because I'm a noob. And I don't want to switch my other screen because it's set up with the chat already. Boom, boom. Copy link. I'm going to try to stay on. I never stay on here by myself. And I think it's also important that I do kind of learn how to stay on here by myself. Guys, go ahead and share this tweet right here. If you have not subscribed, thank you, Monica. I really appreciate that. I'm watching on my Daddy RH channel. I'll be watching on Daddy RH. That's for sure. Thank you, Lucky Taylor. No problem. You're doing great, GRC. Always look forward to your show. Thank you so much, Monica Mofit Meals. You're doing so great. Share this out, guys. Bob, what are you doing right now? Bob, are you working or are you in play mode? Work or play, Bob? 1 for work, 2 for play. James Harbaugh. Great to see you, bro. Looking thick, looking like a middle linebacker. Guys, if you have not subscribed to this channel, that's not cool. And I have an Instagram account that I also am very active on. I will drop that below real quick too. While I'm up here, I got time to kill, guys, and I'm by myself. This is pretty cool. I'm actually enjoying this. Thank you so much, PVM. The show's not over until RH goes live. Then I'm going to take a nap, and then I'm going to go to the gym. Guys, if you haven't, go to my Instagram and Go to my Instagram and follow me. I love to be on there. I interact. It's a little more personal on there. I show some of my workout stuff and like what I'm doing in the day, but like nothing specific. But guys, I want Hex to be more involved. Crypto, Pulse Chain, Pulse X on Instagram. Instagram is important. I don't care if you don't like Instagram. Just make a burner with the stupid picture on it, and go follow every single Hexagon on there, including me, because I can push a little bit in that arena. If I get a little motivation, people get active over there, but I post all this stuff. There's not that many people over there. It's like, what? I'm going to throw my treadmill in front of the TV and be ready to watch RH in 1.5 hours. Murky, your thing is straight. What do you think about raw milk? I've just started drinking it, and it's awesome. Raw milk? When you say raw milk. What about TikTok? Yeah, I have a TikTok too. I haven't been looking at it too much, to be honest. I'll drop it in there though. But I mean, yeah, I'm active on there too, to be honest. I have a sweet page. I've been posting it. TikTok was the first place I ever posted any stuff. So on Hex. So like about a year ago, maybe a year and a month ago, I was posting my first TikToks about Hex, trading all my BTC for I traded all my BTC at 57K for Hex at 2 pennies. Yeah, that's when I started dollar cost averaging in. So it was really good. Oh, straight from the cow? I don't know much about that, bro. I ain't I ain't got it straight from the cow like that up in here. I got it. I'm sure it's good. I mean, like straight from the udder. RH will be streaming today with all smiles in his predictions of the Bitcoin top. UST crumbling in his pulse chain coming alive soon. Let's see if we can invite a couple people on. Let's see. We're going to allow someone spicy to come on, but we're not going to necessarily know which one it will be. So this should be interesting. Guys, make sure you smash the like and share this out while I get this all situated for the next hour push. I'm doing a 24-hour live stream, guys. I have to pee again. Darn it. That's so frustrating, the whole peeing thing. When you're streaming, I didn't. Raw human milk. Family-friendly show. Let's hope it's from the cow into a bucket first. Then you have at it. Now all I can do is imagine a bunch of Hexagons sucking milk from the udder. Spicy Crypto Gains Club. I hope everyone's doing good. I really do. You know, this has been an awesome. I've been streaming for about 60 days now, and it's been absolutely incredible. You know, I'm getting way better at researching crypto, so I'm really excited with my progress, and really excited about my abilities within this arena. I think I misgauged the abilities of the other people in this arena, and now I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna push hard because we have to be right, Banner, so you can. Whoop, 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 whoop. Yes, I know. Hold on one second. Good afternoon, guys. Sorry I had to do some stuff, but I'm at the gym. Hope everyone is doing well. Great to see you, boss. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Hit those weights hard. Hit those weights extra hard. Let's check the prices on nomics.com. Let's see here. We got Bitcoin up big on the daily. Are you kidding me? Pump Central. Go long. Let's see how everything's holding up in the green today. Anyone with a little bit of money is just dollar cost averaging in right now, saying it's probably a good time to buy. Might be the bottom. Probably not. Cardano, 66 cents. Holy smokies. Remember when that was at $2? Get wrecked. Hex, last year, 365 days ago, was roughly 2.5 pennies. That's over 1,000% on the year. Guys, pay attention. Binance, USD, looking good. Terra USD. Oh, wow. I didn't know that number was allowed to be around that. USD, 90 cents. Something's not right there, guys. Dogecoin. Polkadot. I bought Polkadot at $46, I believe, due to the great advice from a paid group. It was just the money buy at the time. They were really just putting on for the squad when they let us know that buy zone. Good stuff. That's why TA is so important, so you can make sure people buy right here. Very, very critical. Let's look at more stuff. Any coin you guys want me to look at the price chart for and laugh? I got a follow request from Jinchans Crypto a few minutes ago. I'm assuming that's someone that's posing as you. Might not be, dude. I follow lots of hexagons. I spam follow hexagons all day long, to be honest. Let's look. FTX token. Well, what is the regular Terra token? Let's check this price chart out. 41%, guys, on the daily. Holy smokes, guys. I knew it was 46% last night, but I guess it matched. Golly. Not good, guys. Not good. It never had its correction, I guess, you know? Wow. Incredible. Incredible candles. What's it back at? 30? I can't even see the candle in the frame. Good shit, guys. Good volume right there, guys. Go to the Aurochs indicator on that one. Just kidding. It's going to zero. No, I'm just kidding. It'll probably recover at some point, but Lord have mercy on my soul. Oh, God. Die holding its peg. Good stuff, guys. All good stuff. Monero down 7% on the daily. Oof. Mega red candles, guys. Now let's go to Uniswap Hex.Vision, the best price chart in the history of price charts. Come on, load up. Are we loading up? Took the L, but look, guys, look at this price action here. While everything else was Hex is just making separate situations happen. You know what I mean? Like, we're getting these mini pumps. We're holding ourselves up. People get more excited about buying Hex because the opportunity is just greater. When you buy Hex, you have a better ROI in general. So people are going to want to buy it more. Plus, they stake it. They can't sell it. Guys, immutable code. Richard Hart, you're an absolute genius. Fucking animal. Richard's an animal. Guys, I'm going to use the restroom real quick. I will be right back. I'm trying to follow 555 hexagons. Let me make sure. Yeah, I need to learn about dark mode. Jim Rad, I'm not much of a shiller, but if you are looking to learn Web3 coding, I'd recommend Ivan Tech's Morales Academy, unlimited video courses with practical work and support forum, $75 a month. I like to learn on my own ways. It's more fun when it's your own way because then people don't let you know how to think. There's courses on everything. Yeah, I know. I'm a paid course. I'm a paid course master, guys. I'll be right back. I got to pee real quick.
What's up?
Oh my gosh. How did you squeeze your way in here? How'd you get in here?
Great question. You sent me the link.
I sent her the link, guys. That's how it works in this world. Fashion Coder, how are you doing today? I would love to know right this second.
I'm doing so good. Sorry, I'm on my phone right now. I actually am leading a work meeting in like 10 minutes, so I don't have a ton of time.
You're totally cool. I wanted to know, is there anything I need to do to prep for when we have that initial whatever you're gonna try and help me with?
Coding class.
Well, I know what the coding. I don't know the exact exact language you'd use or whatever.
Yeah, so I actually have a question for you. So do you want how to make a website, or do you want to do like maybe more?
I want to be able to analyze cryptos. That's it.
Okay, so
Like I want to be able to look before, like without asking someone else at some point.
okay, let's see. So we're not going to do website stuff then. What I'll teach you is I'll teach you how to write functions, which is just like a way of being able to do literally any type of like algorithm type thing. So I'll just find some website that we can do it through, and we can go about it like that.
And however you want to do it, like again, like so I want you to think about it too. Like I want you to present it to me. I know you probably have a way that you want to do it, but just as my suggestion would be like present it to me in a way like I can do research on my own, right? Like I just need to understand what I must learn. You know what I mean? Like, because that's the hardest part for me. I'm always serial researching, right? But sometimes you get led in a direction that might not necessarily be where your head should be. So you're like wasting time, right? So I like to just, where should I be focusing? Like, what are some of the things I should be focused on, along with like obviously the specific parameters?
Yeah, totally. So I'm going to teach you how to do like a very basic code. And then once you are able to just see how a function works, it like reading code is a lot easier. So we'll do something super basic, and then maybe we can dive into some open source code together too and read through it. And I can tell you what I look for.
And maybe I could show you some of the projects that I need to look into, and we could talk
Sure.
about them as like, because I know what I'm looking for, right? Like I know exactly what I'm looking for. I'm looking for those moments, like where's the burn, like what's the burn function, like where are these specific things, like because you always want to see like where are things open-ended. Like I understand the parameters around all these things. I just don't know how the physical coding works. I really understand like there's so many openings for stuff. And then the other thing that I like in general that I've been learning and wondering about is like when someone makes their stuff totally open source, they're kind of leaving themselves in a way in a complacent spot because they can always kind of update, right? Can that make things on the back end like people be more lazy because they know they can just fork the thing?
Ooh, I actually feel like it makes it so they actually aren't lazy. They have to have their code all together to be able to have it be open source, right? Because if someone's going to go look at it, then they really have to have like their crap together, right? On their code. And so, I mean, someone could go in and fork it, but within like coding, there's always this talk around like, why would you reinvent the wheel? And so having open source projects is an amazing thing because then you can just go in and make something better. And I feel like that's a good thing. And it means that people aren't going to be lazy because first off, they want to have the best product immediately, having an open source product. So they'll make it as good as they can up front. But then of course, like there's things that you can figure out like, like with Ethereum and Ethereum 2.0 coming out, it's like, well, there's that. But then we have the Pulse chain network that's going to come out, and they were able to fork off of Ethereum. So it's kind of like, it's a good thing.
Now you guys spaz out in the comments. When she gets in here, comments go absolutely parabolic. You're getting a lot of love in the comments, Fashy Coder. Thank you for coming on here for a minute and letting everyone. I think this was a good because we needed to talk at some point. And then RH said he was going to stream, so I'm probably going to watch that at some point. But yeah, you're getting a lot of love. But you can go on. Sorry.
Oh, So that's basically it. Open source is really good because it gives the project a lot of credibility because there's nothing to hide because it's all right there.
Yeah, but then I get worried because like it's like so much marketing and branding involved, right? Like people don't know. So like guys like me maybe could get a beat on it if we were studying all the time. But like
Uh-huh.
for the average user, right? Like they're just going to go with the brand name that's most popular. And they don't necessarily know that it's been 2 years since the guys really put in hell to coding it, right? And then it's like all these new guys like me come in and they're like, we could do this better. We could think about this in another way. And it's like you have 2 years of lull followed by someone else with like aggressive marketing and like entrepreneurial hunger. And that's how things like Terra Luna, like aggressive marketing, very aggressive top 10 listed on everything. But fundamentally, people just didn't look far enough. I asked about Terra Luna on here a couple days ago, and I was like, it's just counterparty risk central. That's all it was. It's a great protocol, centralized basically. And the first thing it says on the top is decentralized protocol. And it's just not the case. But I don't know what I'm talking about. I was geeking out all morning. So what is your like as far as what you know about crypto in general? Like I know you're learning as you go, obviously, like everyone. Including myself. Like I'm just learning every morning. Like that is like all I do. Where are you at as far as like, do you still have blind spots as far as like the way everything works? Or do you kind of understand in a general way? Like obviously new things come out, but like, do you feel like there's a lot of mystery there still for you? Or you feel like you can pick up a new concept, like right on the spot almost?
Oh, that's a great question. I feel like there's still a ton of blind spots for me because there's just so much to know. And I feel like you can't like know all of it. But when new things come out, like when Maximus DAO came out and Hedron came out, both of those things were really confusing to me. I literally had my dad explain them to me like 10 times each because I was like, I don't get this. But like being able to relate them to things that I have seen in the past, it's really helped, even if it's not with crypto. So what's been helping me is relating crypto things to like other things that have happened just within like history to make it make more sense. But yeah, I feel like there
Yeah,
are
you got to
blind
relate
spots.
it right back to finance. Like your dad already knows because he's already seen it. The exact same thing happen in a way, right? And that's
Yeah.
just I talk to guys all day long like that have seen this stuff happen 1.5 million times over, and they just say that the variables are different, but the game is exactly the same.
Yep.
You know what I
Exactly.
mean? So you can start to like it's derivatives play. Like you just start to kind of like work back on everything. And that's why Sam is so good because he's literally a banker. Like he just gets like he's like money injected here, money out there, percentage, boop, boop, boop. And he just like and I'm more of like just learning the whole finance industry as I go too. So the people like because I don't know one thing about finance. Well, now I do, but like when I got in here, I was like only crypto. I've never written a check, none of that shit. I was always kind of like, I just never effed with that stuff. I mean, I had a job and like a 401k, but other than that, I didn't think about it. And then once I found crypto, it was just like why would anyone, thank God for the people that critically think like your father, clearly, like trying to get involved with this stuff. I mean, I always give your parents props, but Lord have mercy, they were on top. Your dad's been on top of this, it sounds like. Is he a Hexican?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for a long time.
That's so dope.
I know, it's so cool. And like my background's not in finance either. Like I have an MBA, and so a lot of my MBA was financial like classes, but even with that background, I feel like I still don't understand finance very well at all. I'm going to have to jump though.
That's not cool.
I know, sorry. I
I'm
have to
just
lead a
kidding. It was
meeting at work.
wonderful talking to you as always.
I
And I
did too.
can't just let me know when you're available and I will
Okay.
send you a link over.
Okay, awesome. Thanks
All
so
right, I'll
much,
talk
Jim
to you
Rat.
soon.
Bye.
Have a good one. Oh God, isn't she wonderful? She just lightens up the room, doesn't she? But she's an asset. You don't understand. She's as smart as a whip. And you know, I'm like a scout for smarts. Like I go around finding smart people. I'm like, she's easy on the eyes too, which is nice. It's nice. Okay. Take it easy. All right. Let's look back. I actually want to. Damn it. There's a couple things I want to look up, but I can't specifically remember where I was looking at the information. So give me 1 second. I wish I could say whatever I wanted on here sometimes, because there's this stuff I want to talk about, but I'm pretty sure I should not talk about it yet. Not that it's stuff that other people are doing, but I don't know if the press. I don't know if I should give it any press yet, because I don't know what it's all about. You can probably guess what it is if you are savvy. I'm going to post this tweet real quick one more time. If you guys want to share this out, I'm staying on for another hour. Hell yeah, I get another hour here. Viewers dropped quick, bullish. They're just getting a drink. You know that. They weren't sticking for her. They were sticking for Jim Rat. Nah, she's so lovely. I can't even hide it. She's absolutely wonderful. Let's check a couple things real quick. But she will be coming on live on Thursday, guys. Live on Thursday. Fashion Coder will be on this show teaching me and Sam how to code. Okay? I think that's how we're going to do it. But I got some studying to do for show. But I'm excited as hell to start studying, guys. Listening at the gym. Biceps in the chat. Jimmy Diamond. Biceps in the chat, guys. Yeah. Yep. Who else wants to come on? Let's see. We got another hour to burn. I'm excited, guys. Is Rags done streaming yet? I'm going to invite him. I hope he's done streaming so he can come on. Damn it. Wrong link. I'm just sending out a few links, guys. Just give me 1 second. I have trouble talking while I do it. I'm still getting used to it. Let me think of some thought in my head. So yeah, okay. All right, I know what to talk about real quick. Oh, you need some hopium? Cryptomance. There's no reason that you need hopium. Hex is holding up better than every single cryptocurrency that I can find right now, literally. And it's the one that we all love the most. And Pulse Chain is dropping. And the gains were going to melt the face off the bone in a bear market where you're absolutely leveraging the whole market because everyone's going down and you're screaming up. And then the whales, my friends that are wealthy, just let them buy up everything. Just let them take. I don't even care. Just let them take the shit. Just let them take. They're just going to take shit. Hexicans are just going to be taking shit at some point. I'm telling you. These guys are sick and twisted in the head. They want to win worse than they want to live. It's sickening. It's sickening. It is sickening, and I'm the same exact way. So I love it. And Richard's the same way, right? And that's a lot of what brings people together in this community. It's like I don't care so much about certain things, but I don't care about so much about like money and stuff. But like, yeah, of course I want to have a lot of money. But at the same time, I'm way, way, way more excited about the thought of changing the world in some way, shape, or form. Do you know what I mean? Like, isn't that way more fun than just being rich? Being rich is weak. I mean, it's cool, but like, I want to just be doing something when I wake up. I want to be excited. I want to be oh so excited when I wake up. You know what I mean? That's all I can think about. Hold on, I'm sending a couple more links. No worries here, guys. No worries here. But I just like that feeling in my stomach that I get when I wake up and I'm like, holy shit, there's a lot of stuff to look into. And I'm really, really excited to look into it. You know what I mean? Let me just send 2 more links out and then I'm done. It was great to see Fashion Coder as always. And that Amish kid, he'll get a link because he always says he wants to hop onto a stream one time, and I'd love to say hi to him. All right, everyone got a Everyone got a link. We'll see who joins. Boom, 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 guys. Loving this energy, guys. My energy's good today. I don't care if there's lots of viewers or little viewers. 100% with you, bro. Yeah, T-Bird, I'm telling you guys. If you ain't first, you're last. Yeah, I'm telling you guys. Like, it's just when you wake up and you got something to do, it doesn't matter how much money I got. I'm going to do, I mean, maybe if I needed something, I don't need anything right this moment. All I need to do is focus on providing value so I can be exactly in the position I need to be when money starts to become a bigger issue to me. And of course, I do have crypto, but like I've never personally taken anything out of crypto before. I'm so ready for mainnet. Molly, I sent you a link. If you want to hop on, go ahead. I would love to talk to you as always. You're one of my favorite peoples. Got gay real quick. Just say no to Uber. I'm excited to see who's going to come on. Someone's going to come on because I sent a lot of links. It could be a hodgepodge. But who came on first? Let's see who comes on first. Jumping up top. Bullish, how have you? If you're still there and you want to say hi, I think he might have left. But if you want to say hi before you go, everyone loves hearing from you.
Hi.
What's up, dude? How you doing?
I'm good. Getting ready.
How's how's your life?
Life is good. Life is
We haven't talking so much. We've been getting busy. We've been more business, less talk because
you've been going knee deep into terror. That's what it's.
It's just me. I just go into the
this
basement. I just go into the basement. But thank you so much for everything you do. As always, Bullish. Like Bullish is the reason this. I mean, my content's good, but he makes this shit sticky, and I have no idea what I'm doing as far as advertising and all that. And he knows exactly what he's doing, and he helps me out and everyone in this community out. If you're not following this guy right here, you need to be following him.
Yeah, make sure you follow me because me and Motley have a competition right now going on. No, I'm just kidding.
Just get him note. We'll just get it. Why don't we just make a commercial for that so he doesn't have to waste his breath anymore?
I know, right? I'm just gonna make him a quick 30-second ad that he could just.
I know. What do you think about me learning how to code a little bit?
No, I think it's good. And the way she approached it was the same way I would have approached it. Teach you functions, and then start looking at code. And just by learning how to write a function and how functions work, you can pretty much read, 95% of every smart contract out there.
Now, have you ever started doing that yourself, or have you always allocated that to other people?
No, I've done it myself, of course. Like Web 1, especially Web 2. Writing a lot of functions.
So that's like kind of common.
Yeah, that's easy peasy. Like when all this stuff comes out, I look at even though I don't know Solidity, I just I understand a few languages.
So
when I read it, I understand it.
In your opinion, what do you think I should be keeping my eyes on as far as stuff to learn? Maybe like anything.
Well, the thing is, what's your ultimate goal? Are you actually trying to
I want to be able to be the first one to look at a
understand-
project and look at the code and be able to interpret it.
Yeah, so the way she's approaching it makes total sense. Learn how to write a function, how to read a function, and through there you can pretty much read most contracts and understand what's going on.
Now, when it comes to contracts that use different code, what the hell?
Well, for the most part, unless it's on a different chain, it's all
Cardano and Polkadot use different code.
Right, but again, most of it is mainly functions. Again, if what you're interested in is, smart contracts and stuff like that, you don't need to worry about that stuff. Just understanding functions and basic Solidity, because I'm going through that process now. Like I'm transitioning from Web 2 full stack over to Web 3.
Yeah, no, for sure. This is
But,
really
not just from like a understanding, more for like a building perspective. And my first pet project, as I'm learning, is going to be postchainscams.com, and through that process, I'll learn, blockchain analysis and bring that over to code and automate it and try to spot certain things within code and smart contracts.
Motley says stick with EVM. So
which is
so basically by sticking within the Ethereum protocol
right
code, it'll be easier for me to just continue from there because I'll be covering Pulse Chain for the most part.
Yeah, and most of the stuff are EVM based, but yeah, exactly. Since it's Pulse Chain for the most, it's EVM based, which is Solidity and exactly what she's going to be teaching.
You said exactly. Oh, so
yeah, she's going to teach you. Look, when you look at like any basic smart contract, it's mainly functions. And what's a function? Do this, do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm so excited, guys. This has been like an absolutely like mind-bending like change of pace for me, but my brain's been waiting for it for a long time, so it's been really, really exciting. Let's see if Bran wants to come on for a little bit. I heard a click. Oh, no way. The last person I thought was gonna hop on here that I invited, just because he said one time in a tweet, he said, if I ever went on a channel, it would be GRC's channel. And I read that.
What's up, man? Can you hear me?
Dude, what is up, my guy?
Dude, this is my first stream I've ever been on in any form.
This is the first time Amish Coder has put his face on a stream, and you are a hardcore Hexican.
I am hardcore.
So what's up, man? How did you get involved in this stuff? I'm not gonna lie, you seem like you're rather young, but you might be a little older than I assume.
I just turned 22, so I'm like.
Yeah, you're very young. So I mean, how did you get wrapped up in this stuff? You're as a young buck.
I mean, I like money, you know. Everybody likes money, and so when I was like 18 or something, I think I bought some Litecoin or something. Just like started messing around on Coinbase, and I just forgot about it. I sold it after a bit, and then when I was 20. A coworker at the time, he was pretty into crypto. He's been into like Bitcoin and all that stuff, and he started talking about Hex, and I didn't really listen at first. Like he got in like day one and everything. He actually bought on the lowest day, like day 33 or whatever it was. So like,
wow,
he knew what he was talking about, and it took me a couple months, but I finally got in like early 2020. This is my kid.
We've seen you in some cute pictures on the farm.
Daddy,
How you doing? We've seen plenty of pictures of her on the farm.
So yeah, then I got into Hex, and once it started like going up a little bit, I started taking it pretty seriously, you know, and like actually like learning about like how it works and everything. And then about a year ago, I kind of like got active in the community, like Telegram, Twitter, and stuff, and that's when I like really started taking it seriously and like got into
Now, are you a country boy? Are you a country boy?
Yeah, I am.
I see you on the farm.
Wasn't. Yeah, I got like a. Let's see if you can see it. Got an elk up here.
Ooh. So you're full on. You're full on. You're a father, and you're a Hexican, and you're on a farm. You're living the American dream right now.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, once Pulse Chain comes out, it'll be a lot more. But
what are your takes on Pulse Chain? You don't. Oh, hold on. Valiant brand. Cheers to the Amish Kid for coming on. This is awesome. Everyone's saying Amish Kid a good dude. Motley investor. John May. Crypto Gains Club. Bullish. Guys, this is great. We love to see you on here, man. I see you on all the time. And it's like. You seem like you're 35, but you look, you know, like you seem like you're in a bunch of dudes that are like older and you're doing like adult shit and you have like a kid. So I'm like, I don't know if this dude's like 35, but he looks real young, or he's like real young. But your experience, when you call yourself the Amish Kid, is that literally because you were part of the, I don't know exactly what.
Yeah. I grew up Amish until I was like, I don't know, 12 or so. So like I can speak the language and everything.
They have a language?
Yeah.
Bro. I did not know that. So my grandpa was actually an antiques, that he owned a giant antique store in Ohio, and it's so it was all made by Amish. So like they were always around making furniture, like doing stuff, and I was like kind of in I just didn't know. I just knew that they made everything by hand. I was like, well, that's wild that they're making everything by hand, like. Yeah. And so how was that experience? Because I know that, you know, I don't want to say this because I don't know if it's necessarily true, but I've heard a couple people in this community have at least a couple of people I ever talked to were in the Amish community before, and they've maybe transitioned out. I don't know necessarily the terminology, but I'm sure crypto is not first on the list for the Amish.
No, dude, no. It's like, I mean, yeah, a lot of people don't know a lot about them, but it's no technology at all, you know. So like they don't know crypto exists or anything. I mean, like, yeah. It was like the Amish have a lot of good things about them, you know, like work ethic and family and like a lot of good morals and stuff. but there's like a lot of bad stuff too. Like it's really like strict and like religious and like rules and everything. So there's like, I mean, it's good and bad. I'm glad
It
I'm not
sounds
on
like
it
the
anymore.
underlying principles potentially were correct, but corruption, as anything goes through with larger groups, things happen and like the message gets thrown off and like power structure gets thrown off. Because just like that, like I'm sure it seems like you're a good kid. Like you love your family, you make that clear. Like you know, that's something like you're that kind of guy, right? Like you make that very clear by the way you present yourself online. And I think that more of that is needed, like in this community for sure. Not necessarily like having a family and stuff, like that's obviously variable. But like being a good human to other humans is like very good. It's a
Like
very
contributing
thing.
to society, like not just being a leech, you know.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it a lot. But yeah, like I think the main reason my family left was just they wanted more freedom, you know. And then it's kind of funny because that's like a lot of like what Hex is about is like freedom, you know. Like almost everyone in Hex that gets it and is in the community, like that's their main thing is they want freedom. Like they want to be free of like, you know, whatever it is, financial strains, the government,
Time.
everything.
It's time.
Yeah, time.
It's time. I just wanted to be free from like they were basically looking me in the face. They're like, "You're a 20-something-year-old man. We're taking all your time away, and you need to like it." Literally, that's what they were trying to pitch to me, and I was just like, you know, in a roundabout way, like getting a job and working for 14 hours for another dude making less than inflation is just. I mean, you could call it whatever you want, but like, it's not spending time with your family. It's not making good relationships, teaching yourself how to do things like coding and shit or whatever. Like it's none of that. It's just a waste of effing time most of the time. Obviously, there's like people that are super hyper driven and can work past that. But for the average person that I've noticed, it seems like they don't give an S about what they're doing. Therefore, they don't. It's not because they're dumb. It's just like they don't care. It's like, why would you care if you were working at T-Mobile? It's hard to.
Yeah, and then you get like people medicate with like, you know, different things. They just scroll through social media then so they don't have to think about stuff, or they watch TV at night, stuff like that. So they just like they don't even realize that they're just like slaves for the next 50 years basically.
Yeah. So how is your situation? So you don't have to get into any of your specifics, but I mean, are you, you know, you're a young man. You clearly have a family of some sort. How is your finance? Like, how are you holding up?
Well,
Are you?
I'm a single dad. Like I'm not married. I made a lot of mistakes when I was younger and stuff, which I'm still young, but anyway, so I actually I moved in with my parents again, so I just rent from them. So like my expenses are pretty minimal, like a little bit of food and rent. So I have very low bills. And then I kind of just like currently I just do just enough to pay my bills kind of. So my dad has like a roofing company and I have uncles that have companies, and so like I'll work here and there just a bit to kind of get by. Because obviously it's not really a good time to be selling your Hex or anything. So
Yeah, try to stay
but
even as much as you can. Like staying even when it's low like this is
yeah.
good.
And then once Pulse Chain comes out and it's been out for a bit, then I'm going to be using like the loan protocols, like liquid loans, fiat, and stuff. And
You're going to be tuning into crypto in the morning to make sure everything's safe.
Yeah, for sure.
Before
and
you
then
use any loan protocols.
I want to get into some land, like some actual tangible property stuff, but like it's hard because you just got to be patient now, because like there's no way you can make as much money doing anything in the real world as you can in crypto right now. So it's like I want to go out and do actual stuff, but I'm not going to make as much money as this. So I guess I'll just keep sitting on my hands. I mean,
yeah, when you're 22 and I'm 28, it's like the same. It's similar in crypto because it's both pretty young. It's like, if I could just wait this out for a couple of years and just not lay low, but just be like a good dude and like keep my hands to myself and not make any ginormous, because, you know, we're guys. It's not hard to fuck up. You start a business, do anything. You go under, you could get another girlfriend and, you know, shit goes sour. You could do this, that, the other, move in with somebody. 150 things you can do wrong. And there's one thing you can do right, which is most of the time, nothing. Like I am very successful in a lot of ways because I'm very, very, very patient. Like I don't care if what occurs today. I do not care. If somebody was like, Pulse Chain's coming tomorrow, I'd just be like, that's sick. I'm so excited, but like, let's get on with the day. I have things to do. We need it tomorrow morning. I'll be focused on that. Like, you know what I mean? So I just want people to get in that mode. Like when I wake up in the morning, the last thing I'm thinking about is my bags. I'm thinking about what I need to be doing. Like what is your goal? What is your purpose? And as you get older, obviously too, it's like when I was 22, dude, I was too emotional about a lot of the things in my life. Like let's say somebody rejected me or I had some sort of interaction in human life, it would very much control what I was able to do. But now so much it's like it has no effect. So like as I got older, it's like your perspective changes because you just go through more stuff over and over. You just take a left and a right and a left and a straight, and then you're just like, I don't give a shit anymore. You're like, whatever. But we have a special guest. This is gonna be cool and you can hop off whenever you want. I know you're busy.
All right.
Boom.
Wales only.
What up, homie?
You see that Crypto Fitness Challenge Twitter executive? He's participating, running away from the that guy today.
Yo, how funny was that?
I never seen a guy. What a game plan! Like I'm gonna run. I'm gonna do a brisk jog away from like every fear in my life, everything I've done wrong. And it's like, where are you going, bro?
Yo, that was crazy to see, man. I
What
could
does
not
that
believe
mean?
my
Can I
eyes.
ask you what that means?
That means that they're all caught with their hands in the fucking mass, as we like to say. Right? Like they're just all caught right-handed, bro. So all they can do is like hop, skip, and jump like a little girl and hope nobody notices that they're caught. I
Does this
mean,
have any implications for us?
well, eventually what's gonna happen is that these tech giants are gonna be, it's gonna be clear that they're just bad actors, right? And that the government is, I mean, it's already on record. This is already on public record that there are third party connections to the government and big tech, and their censorship requests of whoever is bugging them that day. There's no, specific person. It's whoever they decide they need to silence, or whatever message they decide they need to silence. Like this is on record, on public record. Like this has been exposed in courts. So this is not not a theory. It's well known that these people are out here watching what's going on in the public sphere and saying, "Hey, Twitter, shut that guy up, shut that girl up now." Literally, what's happening. And that's, of course, a breach of your First Amendment rights. But what happens is that the government skirts around it by getting big tech to do it because they're all in cahoots. So it's all one and the same. Crazy, right?
It's just like we're never gonna know, right? So we just have to build our own shit. It's basically at that point. It's like it's just like there's too many pieces, there's too many emails, there's too much collusion, there's too many big tech. It's like we have to try as the richest people in our communities, like and moving forward, if Hex is moving as parabolically as I assume it will. It's like we have to decide. And just like I was listening to Wales or someone yesterday, I think it was RG3, talk about legislation. Wales always talks about legislation too.
It's probably RG.
And getting involved, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like I think that's way more important and doable than people think sometimes.
100%.
Although it's very difficult. Still very difficult.
Well, I think what it is, step number one is what? Education. Right? I mean, I used to be a 20-year-old knucklehead. I knew nothing. Look at me now. I'm no different than any of you guys. And that's what people need to understand. I'm not some special guy. I don't got no fucking Harvard degree. None of that shit. I'm just some regular guy. And people need to understand that. I will say that every day because that is important for people to realize. Because I apparently have all this power or whatever the fuck. I don't got no power. I just give it to you how it is. I'm giving you information as it is. I'm not giving you misinformation.
Like Terra Luna guys.
Right.
Misinformation. No, it's a direct example, right? Because those are sharp. There's sharp individuals over there. I'm telling you, I've spoken to them. There's some sharp guys over there with a lot of money, but they were led to believe that counterparty risk does not matter. Isn't that so stupid with big fat bags on a protocol that you have to go through a little bridge to get out of?
It's ridiculous, bro.
It's
What
like
sense
they
does that
set
make?
you up to die,
Mm-hmm.
and you couldn't read between the lines. It's crazy, Wales. It's been blowing my mind, Wales, just because this is the first time I've experienced this.
But this is why I say what I say, right? What happens when people first find this space? They run into all of the food rules, yo, and it's a whole army of them. It's non-stop food rule city. I mean, do you know how blessed you guys are to find Hex this early on in your existence? Like, even if you don't live to be 40, like, you will, like, imagine you still can
That's true.
squeeze
That's a
out a
good point. Yeah,
15-year
that's a
stake.
good point, Amish kid. We could
I'm
we could make it
37, bro.
clear.
I'm at the door knocking on 40s, right? Like, this guy is gonna fucking bust out a 15-year stake before he even hits 38.
That's disgusting.
See? And there's power in that. And this is why education is important. When I was a 22-year-old kid, yo, I was a dumb fuck. To the umpteenth degree, I was not the person that I am today by a smidget. Sure, I knew some stuff. I was capable of reading, da-da-da-da-da. But my head was so up my ass that I couldn't see I was getting in my own way every time. And this is what we do as kids, because we think we know. We don't want to listen to shit. And we don't know a damn thing. Even as an adult, I don't know anything. Because when you're 20, you're not an adult. You're not an adult really until you're 35. True story. Some of us mature at different. Some of us mature at different ages, different rates, right? Yeah, but you know that.
It's just like I don't. Yeah, it's like in certain parts of your life you have different roles, right? It's like in this, you just have to take on the role of the time you're in. Like I know right now I have a lot of opportunity because I don't have any social overhead or family overhead, right? So I just know I'm like, this is a good position for me. I'm going to take advantage of it. But there's going to be a time where I have to switch that game plan up for certain. It could be 2 years, it could be 10,
But you got to find that point in time when when you think it's time for you to make that move, right? When you found your success, whatever your success is. Because if you want a specific kind of life, you have to give it to yourself. Nobody else is going to give it to you. And I think that that's one of those things that, a lot of people miss, because you kind of gotta control that. Nobody else can control that, because your life sucked until you made it not suck, right?
Oh my God. Yeah, it pretty much was a decision. Like I said, instead of crying, I'm going to grind at a goal. Like at the first time I was like, you know what? I don't care if anyone likes me anymore because everyone already hates me. I'm just going to grind at goals now and see what happens. And then you start to get those wins under your belt and you start to see like, oh, I can do this. And then some other people can't do this. And then you can add on top of that and just keep adding instead of always just like grinding in place, like just in the mud.
That's right. I mean, and it's easy to constantly be in the mud, right? Because all you got to do is make the same stupid decisions over and over and over. And those are the decisions that are easiest to make. Because they're the wrong ones. And the wrong ones are typically the ones you make.
I know. What do you think about this RH stream that's coming up with this chick that's all over BitBoy?
Well, she's low IQ, so we'll see. And no expectations from me. So
will she or will she not be reading directly from some sort of print?
Probably will. She's probably going to try to ask about the OA again, because that's all she knows how to do. She doesn't know how to do anything else. So.
They just know how, let's see, maybe 10 people will click on this more if we mention this one little nuanced bullshit phrase that isn't even relevant.
Literally.
So sick. I mean, it's sick.
It is.
Like, sick and twisted. And then the people are going to buy it, sync it, and just do whatever the hell she does because she's a chick and she's cute. I think I've seen her. Well, the excitement isn't over today, per Richard Hart here. Let's pull this up so people can see it, because we do want to support the stream, of course. Well, the excitement isn't. Damn it. Well, the excitement isn't over today. Per the Hex community, I will be live with Richard Hartwin Tuesday, May 10th, 11:30 a.m. PST, which is 30 minutes from right now. Make sure you have your alarm set. We got her versus 10 years before Richard. They could update the picture. I mean, Literally, that was a decade ago,
Literally.
and he still looks good. I mean, it's not like he aged hard. Like he looks
No.
pretty good. Why don't they just freaking get another picture of him? Like how lazy and how creative. I mean, come on. I can already see some bleak
Yeah.
in my mind, but you know me, I'm a little bit critical on the bleakness. On the bleakness, I hate false value, dude. There's just nothing that grinds my
Well,
gears.
the promise coin space is full of that, my man.
Yes,
Promise
sir.
coin space is full of that. And that's what's hard for people to realize. This is why we have to be sure to provide, the right information, because otherwise people are just going to get ransacked, whether they want to or not. So that's why we have to do what we do. It's not about choice, it's because it's the right thing to do. So,
As far as this Terra Luna crash, the stable coins,
mhm,
I'm just going to ask you straight up. Okay.
mhm,
There's some people are already calling the algo stables an issue for whatever, whether it's FUD, not FUD, blah, 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 whatever. Obviously, some have kept the peg, some have not. But as
mhm.
far as the algorithmic stablecoin, in your opinion, as a baseline, like intrinsic fundamental piece of a blockchain, is that something that you believe is necessary or even is possible long term?
Is it necessary? Not really. Is it possible? Yes. It's just that people have to do it right. Why do these so-called stable coins that are algorithmic, quote unquote, fail? They fail because they're really not algorithmic. That's the catch. Because if they were algorithmic, why is whoever's behind the UST able to just pull the plug on the backing of it, which is what's destabilizing the peg? Yes, yes.
And it's funny because that news directly with the Bitcoin correlated to the top
Mhm.
of the click rate for Terra Luna. I mean, for everything, like the maxed out volume for people looking at it, for users, and directly post news. Because they somehow spun that bullshit into being a positive to the Terra Luna people.
What?
I mean, Wales. Can we
Really?
talk? I mean, Wales. They projected it into the public like it was some sort of extra feature.
Oh my.
Literally, because I was in the, me, I've been paying attention over there just because
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
curious
yeah.
as fuck. And I'm telling you, they were like almost telling you it as if it was an added bonus. Like now we're definitely not. But really it was the exact opposite. It was the exact, they were
Wow.
saving their ass so they had a way to arbit themselves,
Right.
because that's exactly what they did. Everyone on Anchor Protocol was liquidated and no one had the information to buy up those liquidations except for the people that sold all their shit. And it was
Wow.
just a loop. Like it was just like it was all by it was crazy. It was like a total attack. But it was like you can't get attacked. Like that's the protocols.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
if it's Richard getting attacked and him being like, guys, we got attacked. That's rough, man. Sorry, guys. It's like, what? Like it's his code, like this is not. So I think have you seen that video of that guy really digging in? Like it's a minute 30 video of the guy talking about the reason Terra Luna failed. Have you seen that video yet?
No, I haven't. I
I'd
haven't.
love to pull that up because the dude's really sharp and he just says it right out and
Hmm.
it's just really
Hmm.
clean. And I want to see what you think about it. I'm going to pull it up. Gold Key tweeted it last night. Maximus absolutely melting faces. Hate to mention that again, but absolute face melter.
Hmm.
I've been enjoying my life ever since I bet
Molly's
Max.
comment is stupid. Damn, I come back and he turned into Wales.
Yeah, what if that was you and like you switched over for 1 second
Yeah.
and Amish kid? like your camera turned up.
Discussing how the economics make. Do you want to know the worst part?
Sure.
It's broken at a more basic level than we've even discussed here, right? Like we're discussing how the economics make no sense, but like the actual protocol design for the cryptocurrency makes no sense. And Do Kwon and Terraform Labs can effectively kick other nodes out of consensus for like the blockchain itself. So in order to be a validator on Terra, like on the Cosmos chain that's actually running all this, you are expected to participate in the Oracle voting process. To help make this easy, Terraform Labs has provided their own Oracle price feeder that you can configure in your validator that will automatically post the numbers Terraform Labs gives you to the chain and vote on them for you, making the entire process vastly more simple. So, The vast majority of oracles have adopted this. What this effectively means is that no one else can run a different price feeder now, because if they vote out of band, like different from what Terraform Labs Oracle price feeder is suggesting, they will get kicked out of consensus, even if their number is right and Terraform Labs' number is wrong. And this exact thing has already resulted in erroneous liquidations on Anchor, the lending platform. And wait, I'm not done yet. Almost all of those liquidations were bought up by Terraform Labs, who was front running it because they didn't need to wait for the Oracle price to hit the chain because it's coming from their own feed. So they knew to immediately start bidding as these were liquidated before the values were actually posted on chain. It's when there was this massive multi-million-dollar liquidation. Terraform Labs is the one buying up all those collateral from the people they wrongly liquidated. It's fucking Arthur Hayes running a prop desk.
That's funny. You on mute, brother. You on mute.
When someone really breaks it down, Wales, it just reminds me again, like, I don't like counterparty risk.
Mhm.
And when people, that whole project was basically like, accept us, like, except if you're going to have counterparty risk, do it over here. And like, and I always tell Sam this because he's new to crypto. And I'm like, hey, you see how you could have been making 19% on this protocol for a year, and you would have been absolutely liquidated, thinking that you were on a protocol that was reliable because it was up for so long. But when you came the time to actually take your funds out and everyone's running to the door, you cannot. Period.
Precisely. And that's what people do not understand about what is going on. I mean, look, I've had this conversation with multiple people within the community, and they think they know what they're talking about, but they don't. And it's this simple. Anything that uses an oracle, turn around and run the fuck away. Why? Well, what just happened to these guys? Well, what just happened to these guys is everything fell apart because the only oracle that mattered was the oracle that fell apart. Only one oracle mattered, and that was the one that Terra Labs was running. That's exactly what the guy said. Right? That's exactly what he said, and that is what caused everything else. That's what caused a domino effect elsewhere, basically. So when you think about it, what is cryptocurrency meant to do? To remove counterparty risk. What are these guys out here trying to do? Reintroduce it in every way possible. So whenever you see it, run away. That is not cryptocurrency. Simply stated.
Yeah, blockchain technology, guys. A lot of us are very passionate about this because a lot of us made it here because we wanted to escape the reality of what the financial institution was doing, and it's just being recreated, right? And no one's bringing the attention to it other than us.
Correct.
And it's like, we don't want this. We might have enough power to do it ourselves, but if our voices work and my vocal cords are working, I'm going to preach exactly what I'm doing to the people because it's the message more than the actual coins. You know, it's not always about the coins. Just like you were saying, that's a 22-year-old man we were just talking to. It doesn't matter what coins he's holding at this moment. It does, but it doesn't. Because if he understands this information intimately, he is set for the rest of his life.
Then he doesn't. Then it doesn't matter what coins he holds because he's going to pick the right ones. Right? And this is what people don't understand. Imagine a future where it doesn't matter what coin you hold because you're just holding an actual crypto. I wouldn't mind that. And here we are. We got Hedron, we got Hex, we got Maxi, and we got why am I forgetting one? Hedron, Maxi, Hex. Oh, that's it.
Doge, whatever's, and like free shit.
Nah, that shit don't count, bro. That's a fucking.
And I don't like having that. People ask me to have those guys on my show, and they email me all the time. And to be honest, for my reputation's sake, I do not like to have stuff like that on here because I don't want to deal with any bullshit. And I know that shit's full of bullshit, so I don't feel like dealing with it, right? I don't want to have to warn people about stuff that I'm not doing myself.
Precisely. Let me tell you something. When Hex was taking a dip back in, October, November, that everybody was all fucking dying and all this bullshit, people were harassing me about why I wasn't talking about other coins. And I'm like, it's a pretty easy answer, bro. The objective here is to build wealth. Not to be out here fucking pissing in one field and then going to another field to piss elsewhere. That's not how people are gonna find financial freedom. That's how they're gonna get fucking wrecked. Because what are they gonna do? They're gonna fucking go from one trade because they're gonna have liquid whatever coin that's good, which at that time was Hex. They're gonna have it liquid. They're gonna see it going down, however X many percent, and they're gonna fucking swap it out. And then what happens? They think they're making a good trade, and when they try to come back into X, guess what? They're too late, and they can't even recover their position. There's very few people that actually make money trying to trade around Hex. Very few people. So you got to really understand what you're doing and be diligent with your process, right? Because it's really not just a free for all. I mean, look at all the people that were hyped about Hex at 20 cents. And I'm here like, yo, y'all need to calm down. Everybody was so hyped about 20 cents for what? You don't expect 50 cents to come back, that you want to dance about 20? Or hold on, you want to dance about 10 cents, 11 cents, 12 cents, 13, 4, every fucking cent move you're gonna dance? Like, who? Come on. Have some class.
It just shows you their cards.
Yeah, they're ready to dump.
They're ready to do something.
They're ready to do something, and I'm
They're
gonna
ready
go
to
ahead.
click. They're ready to click a few buttons.
Yeah,
You
I'm
know,
gonna go on
and
ahead and call it a dump. Because what's the hype?
real quick, let's read this Terra website to see how much misinformation is actually given on the front of a website. I haven't even read this yet, but I'm assuming this will be basically wrong in every way, shape, or form. Programmable money for the internet. Okay. Spend, save, and stake like never before. Terra is a public blockchain protocol deploying a suite of algorithmic decentralized stablecoins which underpin a thriving ecosystem that brings DeFi to the masses. Guys, a thriving ecosystem, algorithmic, decentralized, selling all their Bitcoin from companies within their own protocol and arbing themselves. Guys, decentralized algorithmic stablecoins on Terra Luna, 63 cents yesterday. 63 cents for UST at the bottom. What a absolute nightmare. And I'm seeing it and covering it live. And the only reason I'm excited about it is because it's something that's happening, but I'm absolutely distraught for all the men that were led astray once again.
And women.
And women, I'm sorry. And women to the slaughterhouse.
That's exactly what it was.
While they support it and spread it all over the internet with their lack of understanding at a fundamental level, completely.
And this is why we talk about the difference between an actual cryptocurrency and something that is portraying to be a cryptocurrency, right? I mean, this is a perfect example. If there is middlemen involved, oracles involved, anything that is not directly tied to the chain, guess what? It is basura, trash. And that Terra Luna example is a perfect example of that. Because what's happening? People are here pretending to be basing things on mathematics. Pretending. Just like we have people pretending to be staked. And what are they doing? Dumping fucking Hex the whole way down. And then crying about it on fucking Twitter to boot. It's hilarious. And these are the people that are getting wrecked. And these are all the same people that are going to get left behind when we're at fucking $50 laughing all the way to the bank. And they're jerking off in their fucking little bathroom. Can't figure out what happened and where they went wrong. Because they're too busy looking at the short game and not focusing on the bigger picture. And we're all guilty of doing it. But it's a matter of realizing that you're doing that.
Like you always mention a point in your own personal life where you thought just interpersonally that your relationship with racism was holding you back from learning certain things in your life. You mentioned that to me once, but then you completely have switched that. And that's something you always mention. You're like, I had to reevaluate that moment in my life.
That's right.
So I could move forward for myself.
Yeah.
For whatever that is.
Yeah, whatever it is, it doesn't matter, right? And this is why I feel like no matter what we're talking about, the conversations are always topical, right? Because every decision that you make, whether it's in crypto or going to the store or whatever, the car you pick, like the process should be the same. It really should be. Should be thoughtful, diligent, and doing your research so that you're not buying into some trash.
And everything out there is trash, guys, for the most part. So like you have to
Pretty
understand when
much.
you're getting into the space, you need to be very intentional with what you're doing, and you need to look at literally the numbers a little bit. Like you have to observe, like all you have to do, Wales, to be good at crypto is go to any actual decent site where everything is listed at least somewhat right. Click last 365 and there'll be one thing in green.
Mm-hmm.
Literally
Literally.
one.
Literally.
And that one thing people will ignore till the end of time because they are absolutely so blinded by other people's words that know nothing what they're talking about. And it's so sickening to me in general to see something so blatant, and for the average guy making money on the internet with crypto, like Ben Cohen, Pompoliano, you know, all those guys, they're
Mm-hmm.
absolute phonies.
They're
They're
frauds. All of them.
100% absolute phonies. They are smart men. And if they're anything like us, which they probably were at some point in their life until they sold out, they've realized that they are just pit. Even Pomp posted that fucking ridiculous, oh, Bitcoin is trending right now as it dumps 30. What a moron. Anything to get some clicks, anything to make sure his brand doesn't go down the tubes because he's relying on the
that.
backbone of
Mhm.
Satoshi who doesn't exist, or, you know, exists, but whatever.
Well, think about it. You literally just, I mean, I never even thought of this. You're right. It's a whole bunch of people that are reliant on an idea that they don't even espouse or portray or principle in any which way or house in any which way or even try to relay in any which way. Like they don't, they don't do any actual cryptocurrency, anything. I mean, we got guys calling us scammers and girls calling us scammers, and they don't even understand what a blockchain is. They don't even know what Bitcoin is. They don't even know what Ethereum is.
And Bitcoin is actually, like, if anything's a safe haven as far as, like, we're not talking about price appreciation anymore. Let's get off that topic if we're talking about Bitcoin, because that's not happening. But you know what I mean? But I mean,
Yeah.
let's say you're just a rich ass dude that's just like, allocating to Bitcoin for some of the transactional benefits, although slow and as malarkey. As I was talking to Tangent, there are some, if there was a pros and cons list, it seems like there are some pros to using the Lightning Network, but price appreciation, not one of them.
Not one of them. I mean,
it's not a feature there.
But
Right.
why is that, right? That's why it's important to understand the why, right? This is what separates the winners from the losers, because it's very easy to follow everybody else. It's not easy to stand alone. On Wall Street, people get fired for losing unconventionally. They don't get fired for losing like everybody else. They'll even get fired for winning unconventionally. So what that means
That's
is,
funny. That's funny.
yeah,
Because
exactly.
I've never been in the world of that.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been in the business world at all other than solo.
Right, but imagine that. Imagine, I mean, your IP is essentially censored on Wall Street. This is why I could not continue to be on the buy side. For what? I can't actually conduct due diligence, provide alpha, and see it executed.
Or you'll be isolated and ripped.
Or that.
Yeah, it's just
Or
like,
that.
why do these YouTube guys sell out? Because they're being paid to do so. Someone is
Pretty much.
There's another man, and you go out to him and you say, "Hey, Daddy, what do I have to do today?" And he says, "Hey, buddy, I need you to do this, that, and the other, or you're not eating this week." And he says, "Okay, sounds good." But eating in New York is different because people are sold this whole thing that they're supposed to have lots of goods and everything's overinflating, and they must have nice shoes.
Materialism, baby.
And it's like the rich, and then you see the rich guys in the area, and they're hiding in their houses in sweatsuits, probably because they're like, "This is ridiculous."
Not doing anything with all of that. You're not.
Yeah.
Right. And that's why when we talk about all this wealth that we're all going to fall into, I mean, we're a bunch of regular people, and the conversation is around how do we make our lives better, not individually, but collectively, because unfortunately, we do not win alone. We win together. whether we want it to be or not. I mean, why do you think Rich has gone out of his way to essentially create a community? I mean, who else live streams for 8 hours on end, answering random questions? Nobody just does that. That's not normal. Like, I've never seen that before, right? Like, you don't see that. Like, a person that's just out here giving away alpha like that, because he doesn't. It's whatever to him,
And the fact
right?
that he cut through to you is awesome sign too, because like, let's be honest, I'm sure your initial thoughts of Richard Hart were skeptical ones because of your background. I think intuitively you would have had to have like an initial like, what is this?
Sure,
But you heard
sure,
facts in detail.
correct. Correct. So I known Richard Hart, or I known of Richard Hart since back in the day, since back in the early Bitcoin days, because there wasn't really people streaming or anything like that, so there was only very few. Um, and ultimately, he was one of the few people that made sense back then. But ultimately, I left the space and stopped paying attention to it because I was on Wall Street. I was busy. I was trying to learn. I was trying to get my crap together, so to speak. And it's a process when you don't have the time to know and learn everything. But it is what it is, and this is how you progress through life. It's by trying to walk through this labyrinth, and it's easier when you got guidance than when you don't. And it's easy for me to say that now, but I didn't realize when I needed to realize it. Like, I would be so far ahead of the game, right, if I was capable of opening my ears up and shutting my mouth up sooner than later. And that's an important lesson for anybody of any age that is not successful or on their way to finding it, because when you're on your way, you're on your way.
Yep, you do.
Life just constantly improves.
It's rapid.
Constantly
It's
improves.
so much more rapid than if anyone who has poor life experience or like anything setbacks, like major setbacks, it's so rapid comparatively that your life is no longer distinguishable mentally and physically from your old life.
Yeah,
Even
it's a
if the
whole
material
new.
things around you are the same.
Yeah, it's a whole new perspective. I mean, it's what changes, right? I think your perspective on things change, how you react to things change, and that's what gives you that power, right? I mean, who's gonna react to a person that every time something negative happens, they're just flipping out, panicking, not having a clue, just all over the place.
Imagine leading a war with that man in front of you.
Yeah, you're gonna die in 2.5 seconds, and that's that's not success, right? So if you're listening to somebody that isn't making sense and they're just talking out of the hip, and I mean, Richard never did that. And that's what stood out to me, to the point that even when I saw him back in the day, 2017, 2018, whenever, I hadn't seen him in 5, 6 years by the time I saw him again. And I still remembered him enough to be like, hold on, I remember this guy. Let me leave it on for a little bit, see what this hex.com is about. Because at the time, I wasn't looking for nothing cryptocurrency related. I was just looking to learn about, domain name related stuff, because that's what I was learning at the time. So it just happened. And that's what's cool about it. It kind of just happened. And it was the best thing that just happened. But this is why you got to keep an open mind. Because if I wouldn't have had an open mind, I wouldn't have been like, oh, I remember this guy. Let me see what he's up to. And B, I wouldn't have given a rat's ass about what he's up to. Because I was just learning at the time. I didn't have to care about what he was up to. But I had the wherewithal to open my mind sufficiently enough to be like, let me see what this guy's up to. Because I was already looking for that crypto trade. I didn't think I was going to find it in hex.com. See? But look at us now. We're all here now, just doing our time, educating others and onboarding people correctly so that they understand actually what's going on. Because otherwise, they're just going to be flying in the dark, unfortunately. And that's what we don't want people doing. Imagine all the people that sold their hex and are going to regret it in the future. There's going to be lots of those people.
Regret is a very calming, nice word for reflection. But we're talking about desperate men wishing they had not gone with their emotions rather than focusing on what's in front of them, because I can tell you exactly a lot about those men's lives. Of course, if they're in a financial situation where they have plenty of money, but for the ones who FOMO'd out, ended stake way too early, totally wrecked themselves and didn't restake, you're going to see people that hate Hex for the rest of time with vigorous anger if they do not buy back in very shortly.
Just because of that?
Because 1100% happens quick in Hex world. A month. When I was my first month in Hex, there was 1100% pump. Literally from
That's
2
fun.
cents to 2 cents to 56 within like me even realizing what was going on.
Wow.
And I was just like, God, I was onboarding like crazy. Like I was freaking out, like way too early, but still getting people involved, learning.
Right.
$20 super chat. Davis, thank you so much. Great content and advice from GRC in Wales. That's what we do here. All I want to do is provide you with something that is enjoyable and valuable to listen to, so I can actually feel like I'm doing something properly, and I can continue forward with being like a crypto analyst and just learning about this shit, because really I just love learning about this shit, man. It's really fun.
It is. Once you realize the power you have, because this stuff is really not hard, all you really got to do is put in a little bit of work and your life changes instantly. And then, once I realized, and I had realized this in other ways, not necessarily in the crypto space, because I was already kind of in my zone when I found crypto. And that's why it's gone so well for me, because I kind of understood what I needed to do in order to be able to provide value to others. Because ultimately, that's what we're all trying to find when we're trying to help others understand something, right? Because ultimately, everybody has, an idea or something, right? And they're just trying to express it somehow, right? Look at Richard Hart. We got 3 minutes till he goes live, and what is he constantly doing? Trying to save people. That's not easy.
And the one thing I want to point out is, like, he tries to save people, in my opinion, not only because he's a good guy, because of course he's a decent guy. Like, like he has good family. It seems like he has decent morals, but he's smart and he understands his reputation is the most important thing that he can have. So why doesn't he just double down instead of being a greedy little bastard and arbitraging his own product? Why doesn't he just double down and help people, so people actually think that this dude is a good human being, because he's actually being transparent? We're just hoping one day people realize it, because at this rate, Wales, it's hard to even imagine what the average human. All I'm hoping, I'm starting to tell the little kids about Hex. I'm trying to get the meme work ready, because the middle-aged people, they have too many opinions. I can better tell it to a 6. I'm like, this is great, and the guy's really nice, and they're like, okay. You tell anyone else, and they're like, I'm going to 401k. It's like, okay, you didn't even look into that. It's like, it's so silly. It's like, at least trust somebody who's successful, or at least, being confident in what they're saying.
You know
right?
what's funny? I'll tell you something about that trust somebody that's successful thing, because what's dangerous about that is that none of us are successful guys. In a lot of ways, I'm very unsuccessful. And that unsuccessfulness is what's allowed me to learn all these lessons that I'm able to now share with you guys, that you guys are seeing is, reality. It's reality, because when I say something, it ends up happening. And it's not because I can see the future. It's because once you understand the outcomes and the parameters that set up that outcome, or those potential outcomes, well, you can speak in a probabilistic sense where, yeah, this is probably going to happen because A, B, C, D. And you'll probably be right. I'm not the only person that does this. It's just I'm the only person that you probably hear doing it, because everybody else is really, hell bent on speaking in absolutes for whatever reason. And that's just not reality, right? Like, you're going to wake up and pump iron every day, but you don't know how that's going to go, per se.
Right. It's true. It's like, I could tear my bicep or something.
Or you're going to have the best workout ever a fucking month straight, every day, successively. Like, you just don't know. Yo, I've had... it's time. I'm sorry. No. It's time.
Guys, the stream, I posted it at the bottom. I want you to go directly to the stream and say, GRC sent us with the biceps. I want biceps all over that chat. Remind him that he should be working out without his rollie on because it could get a scratch on it. Guys, go to the RH chat. Let's support him. He's our guy. Let's be honest. He's a nice dude. He's crazy. We love him. Let's hope he doesn't say anything about his Peter. And RH, if you're listening to this, thank you so much for the information that you've given me over the last 2 years. It's absolutely changed my life. Guys, go to there, smash the biceps, hit the subscribe. Great to see everyone. This has been an absolutely fantastic day, guys. I will talk to you very, very soon.
Young folks, you tripping on them motherfucker.
Richard Hart. Richard Hart.
Bought my hex from the fucking start. .1 every day we mark. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hit restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hit restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Checking my MetaMask moving. Look at the hex, he is mooning. Looking at why they be choosing. Peter is why they be losing. Pull chains out, now get me a check. He's gas up and it got me a mess. Remember the times he died, collect. Hex, I been eating, I'm dying in the best. Getting this back like a year ago. Getting this post, I ain't letting go. Swerving the ring like a Lambo. Getting this back like a year ago. Getting this post, I ain't letting go. Swerving the ring like a Lambo. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hit restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrifice.